But eat shit and fucking die then.
Right. Hi everyone. Hope you are feeling well. I had a great week so
Ah,
far.
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No. Why?
so yeah. Tonight we will our guest. I will obviously have her introduce herself when she has reappeared
Yep.
on the screen. Um, we're gonna keep this to Dean with our guest, because she has other commitments that she needs to attend to.
Oh,
So we will try and get through as much stuff as we can with her. Um,
yeah.
I do have um, questions that I would like to ask her, and I'm sure Max will have her own questions as we go along.
Right now, I'm wondering why I have fucking do not disturb put on my computer so I can like fucking hear more.
Yeah,
That's all. But
yeah,
yeah, I'll probably have like other questions
yeah,
regarding the guest. I don't think she
um,
can answer that either. So
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. Um,
All my technology
Also,
decided to go fucking haywire, and I've also showered my computer today, so that's like I'm batting 1,000.
yeah. So yeah.
No, literally
So
just turned the fucking shower towards the computer, like and shot it straight, like a fucking idiot.
yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Um. So
I'll be.
yeah. So yeah. Do bear that in mind. Those of you watching who join this live, um, you know, um, you already know. Obviously, those of you who listen to our podcast on in podcast form will obviously already know how we operate, how we are, because chaos seems to follow us around.
I
But
wonder why.
yeah, but yeah, yeah, we'll get right into it when, as I say, she's appeared. She's
Yeah.
reappeared, which will obviously,
Okay.
yeah. So
Uh,
yeah,
in the meantime, I can
um,
say I bought a really cool typewriter, like an old
awesome.
one that doesn't go on electricity. Electricity. I'm just
Yeah,
sitting writing everything on typewriter, and like,
yeah.
how the
Well, I
fuck do I
mean,
get laid?
I don't
Like,
know.
do you
Yeah.
wanna do you
Anyway,
wanna come to my guest house and look at my typewriter and like my camera setup and being, yeah, that works. That's charming.
yeah.
Hi there.
Hi. So yeah. Thank you for giving us your time.
Sure.
We will try to keep it under an hour, an hour and 15 max.
Okay.
Because I know that you have other commitments.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but
mean,
first of all,
I did, I will try to keep this conversation to under an hour. Yeah, but like if we run
yeah.
over that, so just hop off. Like
Well,
it's
yeah,
we don't want to
absolutely.
ruin
Yeah.
your day.
So
Or
yeah,
anything.
if you want to obviously introduce yourself, tell us a bit about yourself, and then we'll get started.
Sure. So I make content under the name TT Exulansic online. The content I make is largely about trying to document first-person narratives of transgender medical interventions and their aftermaths, as well as trying to tease apart the different schools of thought about why people transition. And my conclusion is that people have contradictory beliefs about why they're transitioning, depending on what school of thought that they're in. And then I've also done a fair amount of public speaking and work on the concept of detransition and what happens after you go off some of these interventions.
Yeah. I just want to point out on the outset. Sorry, Mark, I'll let you speak in a minute. That me and I'll put outlay this from the outset. That me and TT have obviously conversed via Twitter. Now,
Yeah,
X,
I
for some
don't
unknown
think she
reason.
manifested through the fucking ether to me. Like, yeah, I get that
Yeah,
you've come.
yeah. And obviously, again, she has her opinion and views.
Well,
I have mine. So people tend to tell me. Um, and so yeah, this will be obviously coming
I
from
don't.
three
I'm completely.
perspectives. And so yeah,
Totally
I just want to put that out there. So
opinionated.
with that, ignore Max in the background. She'll sort herself out. Um, I thought we should start with some questions that I have. So the first one that I have is, and if you think I'm being rude, I'm looking at my iPad because I've got my. So, what specific
Yeah.
peer-reviewed studies inform your critiques of gender-affirming care?
Like what's my educational background? I have a bachelor's in gender and women's studies from UC Berkeley. And
Right.
so
No,
I've
what's studies
Like, what's your specific peer-reviewed
like
studies that inform you on your critiques
what you
of
read,
gender-affirming care?
not necessarily what you have educated. What you have educated. I can't even speak. Sorry, not necessarily what level of education you have or something, but like what do you base your opinion on?
it's a mix. I base it on a lot of PubMed publications and other publications that I include in my videos and bibliographies to support my interpretation of these first-person narratives, where people are getting on TikTok and talking about how their necrotic skin tube has like 3 leaks in it and a stricture and they're septic and having a nightmare time of it. And so I try to react to that and kind of put it in context of like, yeah, this is a predictable outcome to doing something like this.
How common is that?
How common
Like that
is
happens. You know? How common is it that sort of by a
it
side effect?
varies based on what article you're reading. So I've seen published papers that estimate phalloplasty complication rates ranging from like 2 digits. So I've seen ones that say like it's somewhere between 23 and 68%. I've seen phalloplasty surgeons say it's 100%, and then I've also seen estimates where it's more like 200 or 300%, meaning each person is getting more than one complication. So it's hard to say exactly how common it is. I think that a lot of these cases just don't even end up into the data set.
Yeah, like but like I would argue that it's not 100% of the people getting it because like I know people who have and who don't have problem. Like
Okay.
whose necrotic skin tune isn't
Mhm.
skin tune. I will say though that's a fucking banger song title.
It's a bag,
It's a banger song title.
a banger, yeah.
My necrotic skin tube is what were you saying?
It's a punk song.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
from anal cunt.
It's a very modern problem to have a necrotic skin tube. Our ancestors did not prepare for this.
No, but our
Mm,
ancestors didn't prepare for cars either. Like I could give a shit about what my ancestors prepared for.
Mm.
They prepared poorly. They moved to the north. For fuck's sake, I got winter the 8 months of the year.
You guys are in the
right.
UK?
I'm
No,
in
I mean
the
Sweden.
UK. Max is in Sweden,
Mm.
and
I
our
was
other
just raised on
co-host,
a diet of Danny Boyle.
yeah, our other co-host couldn't make it because something else popped up, but she's from the UK as well. So yeah, okay. So I know there's a lot of, this is like coming from me. There appears to be a lot of misinformation spread across social media when it comes to trans healthcare, gender affirming care, like all of the above.
Yeah.
So, how do you define misinformation And what frameworks do you use to basically distinguish it from lived experience or expert consensus?
I mean, I'm coming at it with my own lived experience and my own
Which is valid. I just want to put that out there that your lived experience is valid. So no one's debating that here. I just want to make that very clear because we do have some trolls that watch our stuff.
Mm.
So I just want to make that perfectly clear. But go on, so do interrupt.
Sure. So I mean, broadly, I'm generally a pretty materialist person in terms of my understanding of the nature of truth, and so I think that you need to rely both on your first principles understanding of the way the world works that derives from your experience of the world, as well as a lot of different points of view, and to try to synthesize something that makes sense. But I think that if you've lived a long
Yeah,
enough time, you also get some hard knocks, and if you've had any health issues, you can learn that not everything can be fixed. And so I think that that's one thing that really has driven my content is this recognition that of the mortality of being alive and just not being able to unring the bell. And so I think that's when I come across people who are promising these impossible dreams. You have to rely on your knowledge that you have scars where you got cut. You can't just undo your injuries.
yeah, no, but like there are also like if that lived experience should be
Is
fucking
having a
valid
cut that
and
heals lived
other things
experience?
as well. No, it's not my lived experience, but like first and foremost, like that's fucking that's like loaded language and you know it.
What is loaded
That's
language?
having a cut that heals like that heals like that's it's yeah, there are surgeries that end up like that. Yeah, sure. But what my point was that like if your lived experience should matter than the lived experience of the multiple uh like and majority of trans people who isn't detransing or is detransing unwillingly uh also should matter like right.
Um, you're saying that if that was accurate, then everybody should who's gotten surgery should be detransitioning? Is
No,
that
no,
the question?
well, yeah, absolutely. If there were 200, if it was 200%, then yeah, everybody should do it. I'm sorry, this isn't connected to anything. This is just me like needing a stim toy.
No, it's just a prompt.
But yeah,
Well,
everything
one
I
thing that
have
comes
is
up again
props,
and
even
again
my
that's
personality.
is this unwillingness to acknowledge regret, um, even when they're in very very regrettable circumstances. So there's also a
No,
social pressure against regretting it, against saying that it was the wrong choice for you,
yeah, so, like
even when you're having
that's
5,
fine.
6,
Like
7, 8
I
revisions. And they're having to take the potato peeler to their cheek is still, I definitely that I love the fact that I got surgery. I just picked the wrong surgeon. That was my mistake. Is what I've heard in many videos of people who are the cases that are having all these complications. So unfortunately, the
yeah,
people
they should
getting the
definitely.
surgery aren't reasonable a lot of the time. So they don't think, oh wow, new information means I made the wrong choice. They're not able to regret in the same normal way.
Or they actually do feel that it was the right choice for them. But yeah, definitely, if someone has been fucking so utterly convinced of it that it was just that and not that maybe it didn't work out for them, then yeah, sure, they should be helped and they should have uh, people reaching out to them and saying, "Hey, dude," or do that or whatever the fuck it might be. It, but like that's not.
Well, what do you help for that? Like you're after you've cut off a whole brick of your skin and sewn it to yourself. Like what's the help at that point? You're not gonna be able
Uh,
to recover your body.
Oh, I do definitely hope that you don't go and reach out to them now because that sounds fucking absolutely fatalistic. Like, I don't know, maybe help them deal with that emotionally, help them deal with that like mentally. Yeah,
Is
that's a
there a way
fucked
to
up
deal
thing that
with
happened.
dislike
But
of
like,
your body emotionally and mentally without cutting yourself? Is that a possible to deal with the fact that you don't like your body emotionally? Because that's what I'm saying is possible. That's what I'm saying. That we shouldn't be cutting people who could be helped to deal with their body emotionally. They don't like their body.
yeah, I
Help
don't
them
think.
emotionally. Don't cut them. Cutting isn't the answer. That's my whole point. We can't help
Yeah, but
people
like, you
emotionally who
know,
are unhappy with their body. It's possible. You agree that it's possible to help people emotionally when they're not happy with their body.
what? Wait, yeah. Of course, you can
Yeah.
help people
Let's do it before the
emotionally.
surgery then. Let's do it
They're
before we
not-
give them a skin tube at 17.
When has that happened?
Jazz Jennings, it happened to Jazz Jennings. His penis was turned into an
Okay.
inverted skin tube.
Was he 17?
What's his what?
Was he 17? Was he minor? Was he a
He was
minor?
17, yeah. He was 17. And then Kim Petras was also,
Okay.
I believe, 16 in Germany when he
Yeah,
had his
that
penis
that
inverted.
was.
And
That's
both of
crazy.
them were
Yeah.
on brain-disrupting medications at the time. So the question
Jazz-
is, could they
Jazz-
really consent? They were kids.
What brain destructive medication?
Puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones, as well as the suppression for their natural hormones.
For
Like,
clarification,
okay, natural hormones or all hormones are like even artificially added hormones are natural hormones. Like they are still fucking just hormones.
No, a lot of
Like
the
it's
research
not.
chemicals that are used in gender-affirming care are not natural at all. They're synthesized in a lab in the 70s.
I just want to make a comment
And
on Jazz
also,
Jennings, just to, so to interrupt you, Max, but here in the UK, 17, you're a minor. 17 years old in the UK is a minor. Also, just to dispel something, what Jazz Jennings went through was through a controlled environment.
It was
That
through what?
Jazz Jennings,
so
who went through the treatment, that was through a controlled environment.
It was a controlled environment that he got transitioned in?
Yeah, and they were medically supervised throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, it was medically supervised, and they completely botched it. Anyway, the president of WPATH himself botched it. Personally botched it.
Well,
they were arguing in the surgery about whether something was scar tissue or normal looking. Can you imagine having your surgeons argue about whether your genitals are scar tissue?
Well, we can
look,
get
I'm
to
not
that
going to sit here and argue that like it happens, that it never happens, that it fucks up, and I'm not going to sit here and argue that you should do it when you're a minor. I'm not a minor. I'm not interested enough to argue that. Puberty blockers
We have
should
some
definitely
common
be
ground.
available. But like I'm fucking but I'm also not very interested in sitting here and talking about what we can find two specific cases then. And yeah, both of those cases were highly publicized stuff. I remember Kim Petras. I don't remember Jazz Jennings, I will say, but then like a lot of my 20s is just a fog of like cocaine and alcohol. I remember Kim Petras. I remember like being floated around 4chan when I was like 16.
I don't know if you've ever looked into Beaspron, but it's a medication that some people take to treat cocaine addiction. It's not a controlled substance, at least in the US. There's a drug, an anxiety med called Beaspron, but it actually lowers cocaine tolerance. So it like treats cocaine addiction.
Yeah.
It's the preferred drug of cocaine addicted mice that still have cocaine.
I love cocaine.
It's on PubMed, I love it.
Do they prefer it over cocaine?
Yeah, so they'll use less cocaine, the same amount of the Beaspron water, and the same amount of food. So it directly like mediates it, and it works in a similar. It's like a triple receptor stimulator. So yeah, I was in the party scene at one point and saw it actually help some people. So
yeah,
but there's a lot of research on it too.
I've never had an addiction. I've just done enough drugs to make people think I have. But well, I have.
You're just enthusiastic.
I have an addiction to nicotine. Oh yeah, I am a drug enthusiast. I am still. I don't drink alcohol anymore. Though.
Psychonaut.
That didn't. Good for me. Yeah, or mainly like I don't know. Stimulants is actually my favorite. Never done pot. Well, no, fall asleep constantly. Anyway, it's not good for me to fall asleep.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can
So,
notice.
did
Sorry, we
you?
got into my conversation of drugs.
No, that's all right. That's fine. So, did you? So, going on from that question, we won't go through all of these. I'm just gonna like go through a few. Did you acknowledge that the majority of professional medical organizations globally affirm gender-affirming care as medically necessary? How do you reconcile with that with your stance?
That they skipped some steps in terms of establishing that what they were doing was medically necessary. And
And what are those? And what are those steps in your opinion?
they failed to establish that it was that these interventions were superior to equally elaborate placebos, and that they were efficacious in their intention, which is to lower the rate of
Which medications
suicide
are we
rate,
talking about now?
supposedly.
Because like there are
And I also
reasons you
just
can't
take heart
say.
in the fact that the person that invented frontal lobotomy got a Nobel Prize, so it's possible for scientific consensus to be wrong.
Yeah, but also the frontal lobotomy did actually do what it set out to do. Like
I don't know what you mean. The
leaving.
frontal lobotomy, they felt successful at the time because people would calm down. It did treat dysphoria of certain mental ill people, but it just made them
Yeah,
invalids.
like that.
But they were happy
Yeah,
invalids.
and
There's
that's
lots
what.
of pictures you can see before and after how much dysphoria got cured by frontal lobotomy. They would
Yeah,
put
exactly.
cigars in
Like
their
that
mouth
was
to
what
show how
it.
happy they were.
That's what I mean. That's what they wanted to do. Like, of course, like he did his job. That is a fucking. That doesn't mean it's like a good thing. It's just like he set out to do that, and he succeeded in making them happy little vegetables. Which is like, I find it fucking monstrous, but like the scientific consensus on that is an unethical question, really.
Yeah, I don't see there to be a huge difference between giving somebody a drug that causes their brain to shrink versus physically swirling it around with a physical implement. I
I
don't
don't
see a
know.
huge difference there.
I've like not really seen the reputability in the sources that claim that the brain shrink is so large. But maybe I've missed
I've
some of
reacted to
them.
2 different fMRI studies that looked at people and found that males specifically before and after the HRT had a brain loss of brain volume that was like 10 times the background rate, because you expect the brain to shrink over time anyway. But it was shrinking faster in the men that didn't have testosterone, and in the females, it caused their brain to become to grow similarly, like mirroring their genitals. Just like men, your genitals shrink on the cross sex hormones. So does your brain.
Oh yeah, but like their genitals shrink. That's but that's not covered knowledge.
All the
Everyone
tissue
knows
with
that.
those receptors changes.
Yeah,
That
like
tissue is
that.
elsewhere in your body. It's not just in your genitals that it's shrinking
No,
and growing.
but it's also like, yeah, of course, adding something and changing the chemistry of your body is going to change the chemistry of your body. Like that's not. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't see the. I don't see the. And like, if your deal would be that, yeah, we should absolutely inform about that. Yeah, I agree. What and like that's being done as well with every single case that I actually know of personally.
I feel like a lot gets left off of those informed consent documents that should be on there to fully inform people about these
Does a
HRT
lot get
effects.
left off, or are people just like angry because they don't use words like cutting off like healthy
No,
body
like
parts and stuff
cancer
like
risk,
that?
for
Because
instance. Like I feel like
it's
the
open. It's
ones
open.
that I've
Like the side effects to everything is out in the open. It's not like hiding.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people, especially the younger people, and I know you don't think that these procedures should be done to kids. I mean, what do you think about puberty blockers? Do you think because you have to do that to kids? There's no puberty suppression
Yeah,
really
yeah,
for.
definitely. Like that's one of the things that fucking started guffawing about once when someone said we should wait until 25. And it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, because like, let's have that 10 years after you've exited puberty. But yeah, no, I would have loved. I wish I would have done that, but I didn't like come out until I was 30 because I decided to hang on for a bit until I got a stroke. But no, I would have. I definitely no problem with
You
it.
would have preferred to have your puberty suppressed.
I'm just going to put
Oh,
my
there we
cards
go.
out.
Oh, without a fucking doubt.
I'm just going to put my cards out on the table, as it were, and I'm just going to let it be known now that whenever I hear, and I'm not aiming this towards you, TT, I'm just speaking generally, genuinely.
Kind of the only
But
one.
whenever, yeah, whenever I hear this argument from a TERF or gender critical, where they moan about giving trans kids puberty blockers, it always boggles my mind because it's okay to give cis kids puberty blockers in the case, for example, precocious puberty, right? Yeah, when it's given
Something
to
that doesn't
trans
have
kids,
any physical negative, unless it's
yeah,
because of a tumor.
but when trans kids
Please.
are in the topic, all of these turfs lose their shit, and I'm done with it. So we can have this discussion
Please.
on puberty blockers, but me personally, I'm just done with it because I find it hypocritical. I find it hypocritical to say, "Oh, we
Why
can give
can't I
it to
use
these
my
kids because
fucking
it's fine."
camera?
Yeah, because it's fine to give it to these kids, but we can't give it to them. So I'm done with that. That's just me.
Yeah. So my thoughts there is that there's a difference between giving somebody with a medical condition a drug for a short period of time and then letting them go through puberty at the normal age versus suppressing a normal puberty at the normal age and then just giving them cross-sex hormones, which is not the same as going through the opposite puberty, because the opposite puberty would start in the brain, and if you're suppressing puberty, the brain's not involved anymore, and you're just giving them the downstream drugs to give them the physical effects, but it's not the same as
Except like
a true puberty, which would involve feedback loop between the glands and of the brain and the gonads.
when you say
And the glands of the brain would
the
be
brain
producing
is
things too.
the brain is definitely involved in that. Like it affects the brain. It affects
So
the entire
puberty
body
blockers
chemistry.
work by suppressing the
Yeah,
hypothalamus's production,
no, I know that.
right?
Yeah,
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 And that also suppresses production from the pituitary glands of other hormones that would
yeah.
mature the gonads.
mm,
Yes,
yeah.
but I
Yeah,
mean,
so
like
those
when
are
it's
not getting produced, because if they were getting produced, the gonads would be maturing.
But the
So in
thing
the
is,
no, yeah,
cross-sex
oh no,
puberty,
yeah, of
the
course. But like if
pituitary
they
is being
when they
suppressed.
start getting produced and they start developing, when they stop getting suppressed, they start developing, or like unless they enter into
If you're giving them cross-sex
uh
hormones, the cross-sex hormones keep suppressing it. They take over for the
yeah,
leucron, or they're even being
yeah,
given
yeah, yeah,
alongside the
yeah.
leucron. But the
Which
point
is
is that
like
the
what they
pituitary is still being suppressed.
yeah, but that's also the goal with it. Like with
Mhm.
like that's the point is to enter into the other uh, puberty. I'm sorry, I got
let
Yeah,
really
so
off track. I tried to change to my better camera, but it didn't work, so
yeah,
I'm very angry right now.
let me frame it this way, right? So maybe it could come across a lot clearer from my point of view. Let's say that we have, regardless of the gender of the child, let's say they're 8 years old and they're going through precocious puberty. That's way too early, right? And we let them go through it. That's going to do more detrimental damage to that young person's body. Hence the reason why in cis kids we give
Wait.
them those that are going through that precocious puberty puberty blockers
It's,
to stop it until they are at a, um, a much older
yeah, but
age
it's
where
not
their
because
body is more physically adapted to go through puberty.
no, like sorry, we looked this up. Like the whole thing was that it's a social thing. Like it is. It's
Yeah,
because
I
like
know, but I'm
we've decided when puberty is supposed to start. Like
oh
the
yeah,
natural
yeah.
puberty, we've already fucked up the natural puberty because the natural puberty is to start that early. That's why they started early. And like sometimes the precocious puberty can be the result of a tumor, and yeah, you should definitely check that. But if it's not, like, then there's actually no physiological reason to give that. Aside from like, yeah, it would feel kind of weird to be
Well, if you go through puberty too early, one issue is that you can end up abnormally short. And so they've looked into thinking because
yeah, and I
the
do
growth
not.
plates will fuse
So,
because of the sex hormones.
that's why I'm 6'2". Then I started puberty a bit late.
Well, I assume that it has something more to do with your Scandinavian. Did you? By the way, I'm also Scandinavian. The Scandinavian on one branch, and they all seem to like keep growing into their 20s. I was wondering if that happened for you too.
Oh yeah, I did. I was very short in my early teens. Like I was like when I was in ninth grade, I was like a third of my height now, which was weird. I'm sorry, I need to order some food. I realized because I haven't eaten the entire day, so I'm just going to like do that while you can ask
Yeah,
questions.
so
Just got a hunger pang.
Okay, no problem.
I'm gonna wait. So let me wait. So we've gone through that. Right, I'm gonna. Right, let's move on to narrative framing and advocacy. So you become a prominent voice in the detransition circles. How do you ensure your platform doesn't contribute to harmful generalizations about trans people?
How do I use my
Um,
platform to support generalizations about trans people? Was that your question?
No.
how do you make sure that
You,
it doesn't?
yeah. So how do you ensure your platform doesn't contribute to harmful generalizations about
I
trans
see.
people?
Well, so one thing I do try to do is to really react to the specific person I'm reacting to. And so, like, I had one recently where I've been following this case where it was two young trans people, so male and a female, and unfortunately, the male ended his life a few weeks ago. And so the woman is who identifies as a trans man is obviously devastated. And so, but part of my reaction to that was like,
Yeah.
these are just two kids. They're two kids who are participating in a fad. So all any other stuff, like sometimes you see in the GC circles, like there's some people do want to paint with the broad brush and say all the males who want to be females are motivated by XYZ. I don't think that's true. And so I do try to, in my content, tease apart and be like, there's a lot of reasons for people to be
Yeah,
participating in
but
this
like,
this larger zeitgeist.
yeah,
So
yeah, but also like that person is no longer identifying as anything. They kill themselves. So like,
yeah, unfortunately, that person that chose to self delete is no longer here, which is unfortunate. But
yeah,
I do have a lot of sympathy for the person that survived, who is also still identifying as trans, and is understandably broken up.
yeah, good.
But it just seems like from both of their
Like,
content, like there's no hint of like fetish or like any sort of nefarious behavior. They just really do seem like two kids, and so I empathized a lot with them because they're the age that I was, and that when I was getting into the gender stuff, it was just like,
for
it
sure.
is important to recognize that there is a great diversity within the trans community.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it
Mm,
is. There's lots, and then we have like I personally don't want to be a part of any community, so like that leaves another
You don't want to be a
side
part
of
of a
the
community.
thing. No, 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 no. I'm very, 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 very individualistic in my
Mm,
views. Basically, because I don't want to be like. That's not only why, by the way. We did a whole thing about me not being
yeah.
able to
Mm,
define anything about myself because it forces me into positions. But like, basically, what it is you say I'm this, and then a man comes in shit, comes and stands next to you, and it's like, I'm also this, and it's like, fuck. So it's what I like to call a man covered in shit argument, which you know doesn't. So that's why I don't
so
want to be a part of any community. Also because like I don't agree with anyone on everything, and most people on very little. But one of my things is that I am a very, very pro the autonomy of a person, and I do not see, even if I like, and I can be clear about that. Even if I, for example, thought, even if I were convinced that legalization of drugs would be harmful for the individual, I still think we should do it because I think that freedom is positive for the individual, and autonomy is the only thing that actually fucking matters. And like this flies in the face of that. Like, I'm not saying that you need to care about that in the way that I do. Definitely not. That's like I don't know you. But
Well, there's
what I'm
probably still
saying is
some
that like
common ground. Like, I think it's absurd that they sell alcohol over the counter, but people who have broken their bones or been in car accidents aren't getting opiates. Like, just because, like, oh, well, we have to protect you from addiction.
yeah,
It might harm you. I mean, I think
yeah.
that's absurd, especially for people that have had a lot of historical experience of taking opiates for medical conditions without a problem. Like, I just think that I don't think that everyone has the same risk of addiction that addicts do, personally.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I don't think
no.
it's
Like be a doctor and assess it. Like. I said, be a doctor and assess it for fuck's sake. Then, and like
That'd be
that's
great.
your job, and that's what I feel about this kind of things as well. Like it's their job to assess it. If now you're going through the official channels to get a gender transition, and like by all means, that
yeah, well, I
like my
don't
point
think.
is that
Yeah, go on.
if we have if we have grown adults making a choice about their own lives, yeah, I don't see. Even with regret, like yeah, that's a part of it. I done shit that I regret as well. I regret doing DMT the day before had to go to a funeral, for example. It fucked me up.
That
Regret the fact that
sounds
I've
like
shitted
quite
in
a
like
week.
every single one of my. Oh yeah, it was very nice. Like not nice, but like it was an experience. It wasn't a like.
Some drugs you don't need to do twice. I've learned through listening to other
No,
people.
that was the second time I did DMT though. But I've only
Yeah.
done it twice. Like after that was nice. But
So,
what I mean is like there are things that you regret and like, but that's part of it. I don't, and I don't want to like, yeah, the regret is medical regret sucks, absolutely. But it's a decision made, and like the help that you can get by that point is being like getting mental help, I think. And like you're getting to the transition as well as possible. I know
yeah,
some detransitioners, but my thing is that a lot of what the fuck? I can't speak. A lot of the detransitioners on like for example Twitter and stuff, they don't really talk about detransitioning. They talk about not transitioning, and that's two completely different things, and they can't like base their end goal of every trans person on them having shit luck, which is like I'm sorry that I know this can't be said without sounding extremely callous, but I am going to risk that.
no,
I
well,
think that there is an
yeah,
argument to be said about the autonomy aspect of it. For me, and I've said this for a while, is like I think that the solution is going to be more going after the really the doctors that are committing fraud and calling out the larger medical fraud, that there's only one treatment for gender related distress, and that treatment is medical transition. It'd be one thing if it was one of a range of options and people were honest about the fact that some people do grow out of trans identity, some people do grow out of gender dysphoria, do heal through it with therapy, and that those are options. But what people are being told right now is that those are not options. They will not work. The only treatment is gender affirming care. And that's not true, I don't think. So that's where I'm at. I feel like people are being lied to in order to induce them to buy these extremely expensive products that they don't understand. And they're not being truly informed. So I think litigation is going to be the answer rather than trying to legislatively control what drugs doctors can give patients, because I really am very reluctant to limit what doctors can give patients. So I think you and I have common ground there, Max, about
Yeah, probably.
not limiting doctors in the name of preventing the fraudsters from defrauding patients with lies. And
Yeah,
the
I've said-
consensus
not
right now is a lie.
limiting the autonomy of people based on the negative outcome.
Yeah, I've said it. I've said this before, as well as Max has. You know, are there like
What?
we all know?
Are we
We are
quoting
all
me now?
we are all aware, and this is the fact that doesn't matter what industry you're in, whether it's a medical industry or you know the Fortune 500, there are going to be bad apples everywhere, of course. Are there going to
Bad
be
apples cost a bunch.
are there going to be are there going to be negligence in a medical setting if if that doctor is ignoring code of ethics? Absolutely. I have
Yeah.
always said that from day one. However, those bad apples shouldn't tarnish the whole industry just because they made a mistake. That's just my opinion from the outside in.
But
We shouldn't
I will say though,
we shouldn't-
the saying is
yeah,
that one bad apple spoils the bunch. So like that is.
yeah, which it doesn't. But
Uh,
that's our conditioning. We think that just because one person commits a bad act, oh, therefore, ergo, we should blame entire community. No, that's not how it works.
I mean, it's sort
But
of
that's just
more
me.
like a. It's more sort of a. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, for example, as a trans person, I would not behave the way that I behave if I thought that I had any chance of like fucking risking even someone believing that all trans people act like me. That would be fucking weird.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, like, I'm not beholden to that, but if like 10% of the M&Ms in a bowl will kill you, you're not going to eat from the M&Ms, is what I'm saying. Like purely psychologically, it does spoil the bunch.
Yeah.
That's not that I'm
Anyway,
behaving like I'm
yeah.
going to kill people. I'm not a poisoned M&M. I'm a vitriolic little tranny.
Yeah. Uh, anyway, many critics argue that detransition narratives are being weaponized to push anti-trans legislation. Do you see your advocacy being used this way? And if so, how do you respond?
I don't think that my particular narrative has for my personal detransition. I mean, it is part of my content, but I think my impact has been more with my reactions to other people's narratives of their transition. So unlike in comparison with someone like Chloe Cole or Prisha Mosley, where they're actually going and giving that kind of testimony to legislatures, their narratives are going to be more impactful, I think, than mine. But in terms of using it to justify this sort of legislation, I mean, if the medical boards aren't going to do it, then there does need to be some sort of regulation coming in and restricting what claims doctors can make when they're selling products to the general public. And so I don't personally like. I mean, you can make the argument too that not all lobotomies are bad, because sometimes lobotomy does treat epilepsy, and they still do it to this day. They'll remove a portion of your brain to treat epilepsy, and it is billed as a lobotomy, but it's not the same as the frontal lobotomies that they were attempting. That you had to
Oh
be
yeah,
pretty
definitely.
reckless to think was a good idea just because it
And
caused
also,
a change in the patient.
fun fact, that was also how we figured out how short-term memory is converted to long-term memory.
Was
Someone
through
operated.
lobotomy.
No, yeah, it was someone thought that if we remove this part, I don't remember what it's called now. If we remove this part of the brain, they're going to stop having seizure, which it did. But he also like woke up every single day for the rest of their lives, thinking it was the day after the surgery. So it was like becoming
Yeah, it's
memento
horrible.
by
I would
trying to
never.
treat
There's a
your
condition
epilepsy.
you get from drinking too much called Wernicke's-Korsakoff syndrome. It's pretty hard to get, but if you get it, that's like people ask me like, what disease am I most scared of, and that's probably That and prion diseases are the things that keep me up at night. Because Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, you
ALS.
just reset every hour, and you can never understand why you're in a nursing home and why nobody will help you get home. Every single hour.
No,
So this
yeah, oh
poor
yeah,
guy
yeah.
was crying all the time.
I've said if I get dementia or ALS, just drag me up to the roof and like leave me there, and I'll get down on my own. So that's like, unless,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
So.
but
Mm.
the fact that I tell my mom these things constantly is weirding her out a bit. Can you stop talking about me murdering you? Like, do you want me to stop talking about the opposite instead? Because like, I have loads of plans for what to do with your body.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
kid,
moving on.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you could donate your body to be a skin donations for vaginoplasties, so that they don't have to use shark skin.
Yeah. I wanted to donate it to necrophiliacs actually. Like that's a harsh group in society. Like and like I've said before, like any necrophiliacs want to go at this when I'm dead, I don't care. It's not mine anymore. Do whatever. Hang me up as a clown or something. Do something fun with it. Woo!
Yeah. Anyway, you critiqued gender-affirming care. Do you hold comparable standards of scrutiny towards cis medical procedures like breast augmentation for minors or hormone use in fertility treatment?
Yeah, I don't think that there should be breast implants for minors. I don't think that that's something that needs to happen. It's not medically necessary, so they should wait.
Okay, so what if due to the size of their breasts that they are unable to walk is giving them severe back pain, and they need a reduction. Is that
Well,
would
at
be
that point,
would
it's medically necessary and could be even impacting their growth, depending on how severe it was. If they had like a giant tumor and they literally couldn't even like stand vertically, at that point, there's a medical reason to do it sooner.
which
And then I do also,
so
yeah, I have a similar opinion as for hormone treatments for other reasons that are not necessarily necessary to treat a current medical problem. I think we should be a lot more reluctant to, for instance, give Depo-Provera, which has been used as a puberty blocker since the 1970s, but is also commonly used as birth control. I don't see any reason to give that to somebody who's a minor. I think that's a horrible idea based on what it can do.
so
But if that same minor had severe endometriosis and was actually becoming anemic from the blood loss, and it was actually causing adhesions and damaging organs, which endometriosis can do, then at that point, sure, okay, I can understand giving a drug as harsh as Depo-Provera or something similar to treat an actual medical problem in a minor, like endometriosis.
but then we could potentially get into a how do I phrase this? We could potentially get into a position where we're having to like in this hypothetical that in this hypothetical like we will get into a position where we're having to turn away cis kids like for medical treatments that they need. Like it's not like we can't just cherry pick like who deserves necessary medical care and who doesn't. So how do we go about? Because you brought up that no medical board would listen. So let's do a hypothetical. Let's say the medical board would listen to
The Florida
detransition.
Medical Board did.
Yeah, but
They do it
so
sometimes.
okay,
They're starting to move.
yeah. So, but again, like the point I'm trying to make, we can't cherry pick. That's the wrong word, but I'm going to go with it. We can't cherry pick who deserves necessary medical care and who doesn't.
Well, I don't
To
think
me doesn't seem like
having your puberty disrupted is when you're not sick is a necessary medical procedure. Like, I don't think wanting to be the other sex is a medical problem. I think it's a psychological problem.
But again, like again, like I said this on the outset, that your lived experience is your lived experience. No one's debating that. Right, but again, like if we're gonna have these kind of discussions, and I'm grateful that you're taking the time out and we're having a back and forth, which is what we should all have, regardless of our differing views.
Yeah, for people to learn from the conversation, you have
Yeah,
to be able to have a reasonable conversation with somebody trying to have a reasonable conversation with you, which I can see
yeah,
that you're doing.
yeah. But from my point of view, like again, I'm not trans, so I'm speaking as someone who's an ally. I don't see how we can kind of again. I'm going to use this word cherry pick, inverted commas, cherry pick who we give necessary medical care to and who we don't, because again, that goes against code of ethics. Like just because one doctor may say no, for example, right, because they may feel that they are not the best patient, and they go to another one, and that doctor says that they can go through with it. Like, how in your view, how would you like make that better, make it more streamlined as a process?
If you are giving a chemical to, say, a 15-year-old who has an endometriosis lesion that you can physically see is on her lung, and it's growing and causing the lung to become more scarred, and you're giving her this drug, and it has a logical connection to reducing that chronic inflammation, I just see that as fundamentally different than, say, I'm going to give you this drug so that you look different, so that you like how you look better. I don't see not liking how you look to be a medical problem.
But it is, though, not just not liking how you look. Like, for example, I've always loved how I look. That's one of the reasons that I could wait until I was 30, because Jesus Christ, like, beauty. So, like, but it's the sensation isn't that I don't like how I look or that I think I look ugly or anything. It's different than that. Like when it comes to my dysphoria, and I do have that, quite harsh as well. Like,
So,
but is there a visible problem with the tissue that will develop from you disliking, or whatever label you want to ascribe to the fact that when you look in the mirror, you have a negative reaction? Or could you conceivably have that negative reaction on a regular basis and not have it turn into a change in the tissue?
is there an actual like change in the tissue that changes me from
Or like
my
endometriosis? Yeah.
depression if I treat like no my depression if I treat that as well, or like my
Depression, yeah, depression will eventually
ADHD.
Yeah, I mean it's borderline, right? Because it's how physical do you feel like any of these other psychiatric conditions are, and it's
I feel like
hard
it's all
because I feel
physical
like
because the
psychiatry
brain
has
is
gone too
physical.
far, and now they've lost any trust that people had that they
But
even
like
know what they're talking about when they label
the brain
someone
is
depressed or
physical. That's my
ADHD.
point. Is it white? Varför oh! Sorry, my phone refuses to turn off stör ej. Do not disturb. I'm sorry. Now I'm speaking Swedish as well.
yeah,
I'm gonna go check if my pizza is look,
yeah,
burger is here.
yeah, that's fine, Mark.
I think that was them
So,
outside.
so moving on, this is coming to policy and medical ethics. So, would you endorse restrictions on cancer treatment if a small percentage of patients experienced regret or side effects? And then my second question onto that is, why is gender-affirming care held to a different ethical threshold?
So to the first question of whether cancer treatment is still justified even if side effects, it depends on the cancer. and so that has to be seen as a case-by-case basis. If a child that was sufficiently old enough should be included in that discussion. But it's something where there's going to be a negative consequence that the child might not be able to fully understand, and the child can fully understand their immediate side effects. And so at that point, yeah, you'd have to potentially overrule the child, but there should be some sort of like process by which there can be that discussion, because some kinds of cancer, based on the data about that particular kind of cancer or this particular child, could conceivably be delayed, and that could be a reasonable medical choice for the family to make. But for some cancers, it's a lot more obvious that like this needs to happen now. So if you had a cancer treatment that led to blindness, obviously that's a side effect that most kids won't want. But at the same time, if the alternative is going to mean that they die before they're 15.
But yeah, that can potentially be a side effect. And let's say, God forbid, that never happens to a child. But let's say, for argument's sake, that it did. I don't see how. I don't see how that would stop them treating cancer just because regrets happen or side effects happen. I'm sure, but that's not how science works. We don't stop doing something just because one patient emits regret or has side effects. We don't just stop that drug completely. So there has to be there has to be a way of where we can still help these patients whilst not overdoing it. I think because it's like going to my second question. Why is gender-affirming care held to a different ethical threshold?
Because there's no proof that there's a disease present. There's no proof that there's an actual problem that's being treated by these drugs.
But
like
again,
that's true for depression then as well.
Yeah. But again,
and I think that we need to be real careful about giving these psychiatric drugs to teenagers for that reason, because we don't actually know whether this is just their normal development for their specific genes. So again, any kind of medical intervention that's going to profoundly change the physical functioning of the brain of a child, there should be a much higher standard than these superficial behavioral signs.
But again, who's policing that? Who's going to police that? Who's going to police it? Who's going to make sure that every single doctor, right, does everything that? Like, how are you going to police that they give children, or it doesn't have to be children. Let's park children to one side, right? Let's take away children and then put adults into the equation. How are you going to police what doctors can and can't give? Because again, one doctor will give one drug or two drugs or whatever. Another doctor might not necessarily give that specific drug. So again, how are you going to police it?
I think that's why I think litigation needs to happen. I think that there needs to be people need to be able to take their doctor to court, cross-examine their doctor, and demonstrate that the doctor actually didn't have the necessary training or knowledge or experience or a general clinical equipoise for prescribing the drugs that they did for the reasons that they were prescribed.
Yeah,
and so that's the problem with gender medicine generally, is that the evidence basis that it actually does anything at all in terms of preventing the supposed psychiatric complications it supposedly prevents is just not there, which is why so many European countries have turned against it.
But the proof isn't that like supposedly isn't there. Like that's basically then. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going. What would it be then? What is it then? What is that? Because the positive side effect is simply like you are alleviating dysphoria. You are managing your being into the version that you wanted to be. Like, yeah, and even then, even if that's all there is, even if it is just I want to look nice when I look in the fucking mirror, fine. I'm not your fucking mum. I'm not here to like stop you from doing that.
Yeah,
More
I
power
think
to
that
you.
there's separate questions. So like there's the issue of the medical fraud that's happening where vulnerable patients who are desperate and having severe symptoms are being told there's only one answer when that's not true. And then on the other side of it, you have the personal freedom. Should I have a right to take a cosmetic drug that's bad for me just because I feel like it? And I think that those are separate questions. And you
But
know,
like
alcohol is legal even though
maybe
it
you
has
don't
very few medical uses.
yeah, and like cigarettes are still legal, thank God. But like I don't because I don't know. I live in Sweden, and like this it's It has incredibly fucking hilariously atrocious healthcare for trans people at some points. For example, in order to do like you have to do like live 2 years as a woman and stuff like that, and it takes basically 3 years to go through the whole process. And nobody can define what that means, except for if you like look far enough back, it's stand by the stove and get beaten by your husband, I guess. But like, it's not like that road in and of itself would fucking end me. Because sitting and proving something that I know for a fact about myself to a complete stranger who has to be fucking who has to play judge, jury, and executioner with my be all and end all is not really something that I'm interested in doing. Uh, so like you know, I don't know. I had a point when I started it, but like the hunger is eating it through me now.
Yeah,
Yeah, did you
it's
get
Am I
like
pizza?
extremely shouty today? So no, it wasn't that. They weren't here, and also apparently I had ordered from McDonald's, which I had forgotten it was. So yeah, I don't fucking know. Clearly, my brain is rotting.
Ah.
yeah,
Not from not from anything, but from a lack of sleep and a summer's break that have been very nice to
Mhm.
me. I've been
Oh yeah,
off
because
of
you have
work for
the
10 weeks.
midnight sun right now, right?
High enough
Or-
up. I live in Stockholm, so it's not really like. But we do
Mhm.
have very late. I did see the Northern Lights once in Stockholm though, which was fucking bizarre, and I was tripping as well, so I thought that didn't happen. But
yeah,
we just got to university after hanging out with Frank Zappa's son for the entire night.
yeah. So moving on,
I have
um,
weirder stories.
yeah, if medical decisions are meant to be individualized, why advocate for blanket legislative restrictions on trans healthcare?
Because we have an established problem of physicians defrauding the public. But as I said earlier, I actually think that we already have laws against defrauding the public, and we could just enforce those. In terms of restricting Medicaid and Medicare funding, that probably would need a legislative intervention. Just like covering it needed a legislative intervention. The insurance companies wouldn't be covering this if they weren't being required to. So
See, yeah, that's an approach that I like.
yeah. So I
In general, I
in
don't.
terms of legislative bans, I think that there's a real danger in having, and I've said this for a long time too, that there's a danger in the having legislators try to practice medicine in that way, because but in terms the actual laws as written that I've seen though, they're generally more about targeting the purpose of prescribing these and making sure that medical uses of hormones that would otherwise be considered cross-sex or gender affirming that is protected to be able to prescribe those to people who need them for true medical reasons. But the idea that you can change sex or that there's only one solution to the psychological distress associated with not being the other sex, when there's
Look,
more than one solution to that.
I have I have absolutely no fucking issue with having like that you should choose. You do you. Like I had a stroke and I like exited the hospital that same day because I refused them and anything that they wanted. So like yeah, I believe very much in that. But like there was one treatment to make me feel more aligned, and I did try to not do it for 30 years. Like the second memory I have in my entire life is of me realizing this. I didn't know what trans was for 10 years after that. And I didn't even know there were other people like that because I lived in a little shithole. And then, like, at 30, I had a stroke and I realized that I only had one regret in my entire fucking life and I wanted to mitigate it. And it's like, that had been eating me up inside. Like, that was why I turned into, like, borderline functioning alcoholic at the end. Which is why I also quit drinking. Because I was drinking like a bottle of Jack Daniels a day.
So this
Even then, it wasn't.
This mindset, this practice that I'm assuming you do behaviors that are about acting out this sense of who you believe yourself to be. The combination of those helped you believe that helped you stop using substances and kind of sort your life out after a significant medical event happened.
No. I still use substances, like my life is the way it is. But I didn't. I stopped being unhealthy in that sense. I've always believed in healthy substance use, and I will always do that. But I started using alcohol as a coping mechanism, and like the one thing that drugs are never supposed to be is a coping mechanism because that's when it gets unhealthy. But and like I had lived out, like technically I'd lived out all of the fucking experiences that I wanted. I was an open transvestite for fucking decades. I've like I played more with golfers, and I'm not saying this as like, oh, that proves I'm trans. Like I function as a transvestite as well. Kind of sad that I had to leave it behind because it kind of like I kind of rocked it a bit, that title. But like I'm going to shoot through my fucking table if I can't come up with a single end to a sentence. But my like having to hide a very very integral part of uh, who I was, and like having to basically make the decision to never ever tell a single person again after the first thing that I heard was no when I was 3 years old. Like that's I tried my best to not do it and I couldn't. Eventually I ended up falling for that dame grooming, I guess. I don't really know what happened there. Like nobody groomed me, nobody argued me into this way. I've actively spat at every single fucking doctor who talks to me in the way that I don't like. Like I'm vitriolic, fucking vicious, malicious little cunt. But what that has made me is that I'm also I am very, very not influenced by the outside in a sense. I am, and even now, like my gender transition has to do with my view of myself, not with anyone else's. There was a point in there somewhere. You two can find the time.
No, I mean, I think I hear you that like there's for you feel that for you that this is something that's kind of innate to you, and that's why you're wanting to live in accordance with that value that you believe about this internal part of yourself. So but my position is like you have a belief system about yourself, and that's might be coming from something innate. I actually kind of think that there's a subset of men that have kind of evolved to want to do this. I've made videos since the series is called In Seminary, where I talk about like how we see that in other animals, where some males just predictably want to do female mimicry for whatever reason. So I don't know the true origin of your need to or your perception of a need to do this. I don't pretend to. And I think that it could be potentially innate, but in terms of the state looking at men who have this phenomenon happening for them for whatever reason, like you have a belief system and you're acting in accordance with that belief system, and therefore I feel that should be classified broadly as religion and should have the limitations imposed on other religions. So it should be accommodated where reasonable, but it shouldn't be used to restrict the rights of the female sex class, including the right to female-only spaces.
Mm.
But that isn't the right.
I do
though.
need to get going.
Like, I'm sorry.
I
I'm
need to
Okay, I'm sorry.
wrap this up in the next minute or two.
Yeah. But on that
I
note,
hope
I'm
you
going to
had a good time anyway.
Yeah, it's been a great discussion. I wasn't sure what to expect. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll ask you one more question, and then we'll obviously let you go. So, what's your response to trans adults and youth whose transitions have been life saving?
I worry for them. I still worry for the consequences. I worry for the possibility that this is not as life-saving as they're saying, where they're going to be in 5, 10, 15 years. And even if it is life-saving, I'm in some way, I don't know that there was enough justification for that belief that it would be. Therefore, I don't think that it should be funded by monies that should be going towards necessary medical care, even if a person doesn't regret it. Like, I don't think
I
that
will
regret
say,
should
in
be the
5 to
reason
10
to
years,
ban
I'm
something,
probably
and I
going to
also
have
don't
lung
think it should be the
cancer.
reason
Like
to fund something.
Mm.
I smoke a pack a day since I was 12. I'm fucked anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well,
I am glad when people choose to continue being alive. So in general, broadly
Like, I
positive
love,
for any reason if somebody's choosing to continue being alive. So
I fucking love
okay. Well, thank you.
life, but that's only as long as I don't eat my vegetables. Like, that's my thing. Have a good day. Like,
yeah.
good luck
So,
with what
yeah.
you're doing.
All right. Thank you so
So
much. Have a good one.
you too.
Bye.
Bye.
I love this. This makes me. Yeah, there you go. It's like, I love the Swedish press. I feel better about that performance.
Yeah, that went a lot better than our previous one.
Yeah, I wasn't a fucking pushover.
No, yeah, that was. I wasn't expecting it to be that respectful. I'm glad it was. Um, I still have problems with what she said, though. But
Yeah, I think she's wrong. Like, but I think we made clear of that. Like, that's
mm,
good.
like
Yeah,
it's like it's like when she said the word fad. I really wanted to like pin up. I really wanted to put her up on that, but I thought better not because we only have a limited time with her.
She said
But
fag.
yeah, no, I think she said
Yeah,
fad,
I don't know.
a fad, whatever.
Oh, fag. I thought you
But
meant fag,
yeah,
like a
no,
faggot
no,
or a cigarette.
no.
Uh,
But I mean, yeah, I mean, she's entitled to.
that's just
She's
my.
yeah. I just, you know, I just find it really weird, really weird that when she said that we should legislate, I'm like, again, how are you going to police it? How are you going to stop trans kids from
Yeah, I was building my case about that because I couldn't really word the phrasing
yeah.
properly. But like, that was. Jesus fucking Christ, when is my food coming? But like, that was. I realized I think I haven't eaten in 3 days. Uh, soon. Jesus I've been doing art. I've been doing art things, and I've been trying to avoid the entity. That's what I've been doing the last. Thank you for being the only person, you and my boyfriend, being the only people who actually fucking even acknowledge the entity bit.
Yeah.
That is the funniest fucking shit I've ever done.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that I modeled my entire account after it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I have.
And I will say, if you do send an Gmail to corporate tranny, you will reach me because I did register that email. Anyway, you can Say what you wanted to say. I'm going to be reading the first chapter of my book later.
Awesome. Yeah, I look forward to that. It's like, yeah, like again, that's her lived experience. You know, like again, they should be listened to, of course. You know,
About that lived experience, yeah, sure.
yeah,
And I think we did that.
yeah, and
Like it's
it's when she said that when I brought up like the comparison to cis children getting the care that they need, shouldn't that be held to the same standard? And it's like, oh, so no, okay then. So what if a child, a young girl who is due to a large her large breasts, she becomes severely she has severe back pain and she can't walk. And she's like, oh yeah, that's fine because that's a medical necessity. Oh, so it's fine for those, but it's not fine for everyone else. Like, she just
yeah.
changed it.
I'm going to say neither here nor there on my opinions on the young girl's large
Yeah.
bosom.
Well, yeah.
Because I'm not fucking Graham Blind.
Well,
Uh,
no.
by the way, I'm sorry, that's not a real bookshelf. You know that, right?
Yeah.
That you can see that, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was so fucking funny that I came on and I'm just sitting with a typewriter in my knee in front of the fucking terribly green screened uh, bookshelf. I wanted it to be slanted wrong as well.
Yeah.
Like that was my goal. That was my actual like. But I couldn't. Is it? Ah, it's too straight. Also, what the fuck? The top books are cut off. I did not even care. I didn't give a shit. Um, I've been doing music. And like
Awesome.
drawing last week.
Mm.
Yeah, I was extremely high and I set up an entire night and like edited. I downloaded some DJ program and I edited a song where I was playing the Hearse song by Holly Poe. Not by the Holly Poe, but they play it. It's an old nursery rhyme. Do you know that one?
I don't think so. No.
The worms crawl in and the worms crawl out. They crawl all over your dirty snout. It's about what happens when you're dead. So I was playing that on guitar, so it's recorded it, and then I like tinkered with it, and I accidentally like reinvented hyperpop. I realized what a fucking piss easy genre that is, and now I'm going to start making hyperpop music.
Mm.
If stomach
Oh.
is listening to this, I would like to say I'm sorry. Yeah.
Where is it?
Oh shit, my food is ready.
Oh, awesome.
I'm coming. I just need to go and get it. I hear you.
Oh, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah. That's it, Mika. Yeah. Could you hear me just now speaking my faggy little Swedish?
Yeah.
I've been voice training in Swedish. Ah, kind
Yeah.
sir. So, I've almost gotten the cross shadows away. I've almost learned where to set my lighting. I bought so much bullshit. Like, fuck, why now? I am unemployed.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way of doing things.
Yeah. Our favorite person in the world, and I am being sarcastic when I say that, Mr. Paul Vogel himself.
It's that guy we fucked with.
Yeah. He commented underneath our Barefoot Jackson interview. Apparently, according to Paul, I'm a prank. You're apparently off your tits. And apparently, our co-host Nerdy is a butch lesbian.
Okay, I think she's not though, but like,
No, she isn't.
and it's not a bad thing to be, you homophobic content, Paul, Paul, Paul. I'm sorry. I'm, I'm gonna. I'm gonna stop saying like I'm gonna make a sound clip out of me saying answer the fucking question, Paul.
Yeah.
That and the part where my fucking boyfriend we watched it back because I was so proud of that one, and like he broke down completely at the point where where Paul says. Because of your beard and your voice, you're clearly not a trans man. And I said, "Oh yeah, because trans men never have beards or
Mm.
voices." And it's like, I don't know why, but it just fucking shattered him, and that made me very happy.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah.
but like, if you could, I was kind of like that's the kind of bitchiness that I like. That no, not, but he had actually gone on saying the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
The reason that I had to yell that part about Martin Luther, by the way, no, not Martin Luther. Jesus fucking Christ, do all black people look the same to me now? Stevie Wonder, what the fuck is going on? Martin Luther was also like fucking Protestant, you dumb idiot.
Mm. Yeah.
Uh, I'm talking through levels fucking here. But anyway, when my whole thing with the whole fucking even Stevie Wonder in a blindfold could see that was because I'd been since you sent that to me, I'd been like obsessing over that fact. Like that's such a bad shit way of saying it's clear because like Stevie Wonder does not get more blinded by a blindfold. Use a
Mm.
metaphor that makes sense, you fucking brain dead pigsty. Or I'm never going to stop being based in your mother. I'm your new stepfather. Like you consider
Mm.
me a man, so whatever.
Mm. Yeah.
That's why I'm doing the low angle right now, so that Paul can know clearly that I am looking down on him as he's on his knees, like a good little
Mm.
whore.
Yeah. I'm just replying to Paul, underneath that video because he's a fucking cunt.
Clearly, I
Um.
am as well. If I'm thinking about it
Yeah.
right now, I mean,
Um.
here. How fucking pathetic are you to keep watching that fucking? You got ass reamed for an hour and just fucking watch it. You fucking beta pussy. Where is my mind today?
Uh, speaking of Paul, if you are watching, because clearly you don't have a life, um, you know, why don't you go around, challenging people to prove to you that trans people exist by way of you offering them £1 million, which you don't have. You fucking dickhead.
You're trying. He's trying to fucking James Randi bullshit. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Okay, James Randi was one of them. Was a fucking saint. I love James Randi. Uh, but the thing about James Randi, Paul, was that James Randi was fucking. He was famous, and also he was the leader of a famous foundation. You just going around talking about how you're going to give strangers £1 million sounds you come across as fucking absurd.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, because I politely, reached out to his personal assistant just to give them
Oh
feedback,
God, I want him.
right?
Oh,
Which I did,
yeah,
I respect. I couldn't have done it, but I did anyway. Which then turned into a
yeah,
tirade of, him bitching. And
yeah.
he
I saw
said,
this and I
prove,
felt like I wanted to fucking shoot myself.
yeah, and it's like, oh, prove to me, and I'm like, I wasn't exactly in the mood, but I thought, I'd do it just to wind him up. I proved him wrong like 3 times. I was like,
Yeah, like trans women exist. That's like just objectively
and,
true. I'm here.
and he's just like, in the comment underneath that video saying because I said that cis people do exist, and he just replied back saying no, they don't. There's no such thing as cis. So again,
Paul, you dumb fuck! It's just language. Just fucking use a word. Use a proper word for it. Paul, you really are a special kind of dumb. Like, honestly. Also, by the way, nice googling, nice fucking quickly translating. I can fucking see it in the reflection of your glasses. You dumb cunt.
This is from 1 hour ago. Anyone who thinks they can change their DNA destroys their own lives.
What the fuck do you think fucking homosexual?
Then here's his famous line. Name me one person who has changed sex. I'm just gonna repeat the word. I'm just gonna repeat the word fucking.
Your mother changed sex from your father to me.
I just replied to that saying cunt.
Good. Then it's the guy that wrote the comment.
Yeah. Oh, that is novel.
That was good. Sorry? Sorry?
Here's another one that he left.
By the way, if anyone watching this, if you get a comment from like us, it's always Toren. Like I do not have anything to do with our social media.
I do this shit when I'm bored for like 5 minutes out of my day. Oh, that is novel. A lefty. Also, again, he's falsely assuming I'm a lefty. I'm not. I don't vote.
Yeah, that's me, not you.
Yeah, using
like I am that on a technicality.
Using the old racism card. Sorry, Paul, but you are the one who said that black people don't exist.
Oh, for fuck's sake! What a beautiful person.
So you're the racist.
Hey,
so you are racist. You are.
No, I will say that he didn't say that black people didn't exist. He said that black communities didn't exist, which is almost as stupid.
It's basically saying he don't exist by virtue of that. So he's a racist.
No, it is. He has some weird idea that like. It's basically the same thing that I say about like individualism and group, I think, except for the fact that he's completely fucking brain dead. So he tries to like pass actual thought out coherent philosophy through what is the inbred garbage of his own mind. Paul, your brain will have more activity once you have died. Trust me. By the way, I'm hoping for a quick one. I'm going to fucking now you can. Oh, hey Toren, can you send me that video because I want to do a fucking quick little edit of that one.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. Also, you know,
I'm gonna do the best, and once in a while it will just be you like looking like you want to fucking die.
Yeah. Also, you know, Paul, if you're watching, which let's face it, you probably are. But so thanks for the views, dickhead. If let's say hypothetically, this has never been the case. But let's
be careful about sound clips here.
Yeah, but let's suppose, right, that Paul, in his infinite wisdom of fuckery, that he's correct, that I am a plank. I'd rather be a piece of cardboard with more personality and more of a life than you, who is a fat piece of shit, who looks like a fucking hamster chewing a
What, he has to shut his office doors to make sure that his subordinates doesn't come in and bother him because they need him so often.
Oh, and I suggest you lose some weight.
Need him so often so they didn't even fucking want him once during an entire fucking hour. Yeah, you must be important, Paul.
And here's some advice for you, Paul, as well. Lose some weight, otherwise you're going to end up having a heart attack, which might suit you because you know you don't bring any joy to anyone's life.
I can highly recommend a stroke. Like genuinely, that was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah, or jump off a cliff.
Yeah, like we're going to be reading about that soon.
Yeah.
But first, I need to eat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it is. It's fucking hysterical.
Yeah. And you're gonna have to try and use your senses, Paul, to figure out if I'm being sarcastic or not. So have
Dude,
fun.
the dude is so fucking bad at like thinking that I thought that I went out and smoked like weed. What part of me seems like a weed smoker to you, Paul?
Yeah.
Like you're so fucking your lack of knowledge about fucking basic tenets of life is fucking amazing to me.
Yeah. I'll
You don't have to smoke weed to know that weed make you tired, you fucking cunt.
I'll screenshot those comments and I'll send it to Nuddy, and
Yeah.
so that she can obviously be up to date with Paul. But again, thanks for
I've been getting anyway.
the view.
Yeah. Hope you die, Paul. By the way, I've been getting into I've been studying I've been doing work on a webcomic that I'm probably going to be doing.
Awesome.
And it's about the gig workers, like for the Uber Eats and stuff like that. Only they do preternatural cases instead. Like they have to go out in the middle of nowhere and fucking throw out what they call a giant rape spider from the Stygian latrine. So it has my. So it was like maybe I can make this kid friendly so that my stepchild can read it. And like that's the first sentence I write, and it's like, nope, I cannot do that. I think, but it's about two girlfriends who'd like do that as a job, just going around dealing with shit and being tired of it, like treating them having to stick their hand up the head of a dead person in order to reanimate them because they need someone to do the thing while they're doing the ritual. Because it's a very tactile universe that I'm creating. It's like them treating that is the same way as like when Margaret is the one who's made coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's written like case reports. Why am I telling you this? Because I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah. It also has the quote: the secret behind every conspiracy is that the universe is pretty naturally disposed to being like the most dumbest fucking thing ever. Like it's not whatever bad shit can happen will happen. It's whatever the dumbest option is will probably be one to happen.
Yeah, like one of the dumbest things that ever happened was Paul being conceived.
Yeah, and like for the 500 years since then that he hasn't made sure to retroactively fix that.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry,
yeah.
Paul. You were so fucking funny. Like you were one with the most fun things I've ever had to play with on this fucking podcast. Like, Jesus Christ. My little squeak toy.
So you
This
can
is
go
landing
ahead.
well at him.
Yeah. So you can play your little games, Paul. You can like repeat your script and repeat your racist, homophobic, transphobic bullshit all you want. But we're not gonna fall for it. You made yourself look like a fucking clown when you came on.
Yeah.
So clearly you lack
You lost the
self-awareness.
virtue. You also lost the virtue competition to the devil himself. Like you, that's fucking bad.
Oh yeah.
Like you are so fun. Yeah, like Paul, you suck. And it's so fun. I love listening back to that. I have so many good quotes.
Oh yeah. I don't because once
No, because
we've done it,
okay.
yeah. once we've done these recordings, that's it. I don't, because I spend, because I don't edit these. I just upload them as they are because I can't be asked.
Yeah, but like
Like,
I want a long form thing to listen to. And
yeah,
like I can't, like there are a few video essays that I can do that with, but most of them I want to fucking strangle as well, and like others have just fallen off of watching. Uh, Lady Emily, I will say, if you people are fucking like, she she makes videos about stuff that I have no interest in, but that somehow it's completely made for me because of how niche the interest is. Um, or like Patricia Taxon and stuff like that. That's like H bomber guy.
oh yeah,
I'm keep. I'm gonna keep name dropping him. Name dropping him. That's my fucking. That's the most like sane application of my sense of humor I've ever seen. Um, I might also be premiering a new short film in a while, and I might do it on podcast actually, on the stream. I think.
oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, like if we're doing live streams, I feel I can do that. This
Yeah,
was
we're gonna
me
be.
telling you this. Like this
Yeah,
was me telling you that this might happen at some point during the coming year. You know
yeah,
how like I did that with the thing that I was supposed to write. This one won't be an hour
yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah. That's fine. We're gonna, yeah, um, yeah, that's fine because we're gonna be. Because I've cancelled our Zoom thing, so we're gonna be doing this from now on. Go live every week
That's good. That's good.
because because people seem to enjoy our long form content for some unknown reason. I, I, I guess
Because
they like the chaos. The chaos.
it's like hanging out with yeah, like yeah, I don't know. If
Mm,
I ended up just suddenly being planted between the three of us, I would fucking run. Though I have been planted between weirder people.
yeah.
At once when I first moved to Stockholm, I was like 20 years old, and I just went out for some reason. Like just like I'm bored now, I want to go out, so I went out to the pub. Ended up at a party where this fucking black-haired girl was just like, "Hey, do you want to fuck?" And I'm like, "Nah, I have a girlfriend." And she's, "Yeah, but what if you finger me under the table? That's not cheating." And it's like, "What the fuck?"
Mm,
And I still have such a good memory of that one. So I hanged around. Oh, I did also desperately cheat on that girlfriend. So I don't know what the fuck I was on about them. I was doing ecstasy and felt love.
yeah. Well, what is love when you're that age?
Baby, don't hurt me. Baby, don't hurt me no more. When you're spending,
Mm,
I don't know, heartbreak. I've heard, but like every heart, I was clever when it comes to like because you're supposed to like heartbreak is supposed to be a part of your 20s dating life, right? I got
yeah.
out. I got in ahead of it. I made sure that the hearts breaking weren't mine.
Good point.
I did the most psychotically, fucking coldly calculated manipulative bullshit to a person at once, to the point where we have been working since then to like undo the damage that I did by doing that. And this was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I
Like, you
was
know,
never.
do you, do you want to hear how broke a person? I'm
How?
sorry, this is actually the worst thing I've ever done, I think. Yeah, I think it is, because like it's okay. I was a massive piece of shit when I was in my 20s, and this was like young 20s. So I was like, I'd had everything about me except for that one thing that makes me even the least bit tolerable, which is I'm as harsh on myself as I am on other people, and even more so. Like I live by my own rules, fucking uh, to a degree where I ruin shit for myself because I believe that that is the principal thing to do. Like on principle, I've said no to publishing. On principle, I've done yeah, that I didn't have back then. Like integrity was a fucking non-concept for me. And also, I didn't know what jealousy felt like, and my girlfriend was extremely jealous, and like I kept cheating on her, so I get why. But I didn't believe in jealousy, so I just explained to her that if you don't like stop annoying me with this fucking bullshit, I'm going to go through every single one of your 7 closest friends. I'm going to methodically fuck them one by one, and I'm going to tell you as I'm doing each one, and you're going to be able to do nothing to stop that from happening. And then she annoyed me once more, and I said, "No, okay, now we're going." And then I did that for like years. I spent years fucking her friends, explaining as it happened, and slowly like, why is none of my friends fucking like on my side in this? Which they were. It's just I'm very, very good at getting getting the focus on me. They weren't even having her in their fucking mind at that point because I created a sphere where we were all that existed, which I'm good at. So yeah, that's the worst thing I've ever done to someone. When I was done, I was like, but we need to break up now because like this is not. We should have done that a long time ago. I'm sorry about this. I'm going to help you through it, and I've been helping her work through it since then. Because I realized that I had like on a fucking hoot given someone a trauma.
Mm. Yeah, that kind of tends to happen, in relationships.
Yeah, but what part of that story tends to happen?
Well, not that, but I'm just saying that, trauma tends to crop up.
Yeah, definitely. Like all of my ex-girlfriends has it.
Mm.
I've not been a good like there is. That's why I stopped monogamy. Also because I wanted to fuck, but like uh, I ethically cannot defend even trying it at this point. It would like that's one of the like we had me and boyfriend had a period where we now because we like semi moved in together, and we had a period where that took up so much energy that we kind of like completely stopped behaving like anything other than a monogamous couple, and we had to sit down and talk about it. Like, are we going to run with monogamy now? And all I just went with was like, no, because I am going to cheat on you. Like this, I'm, and not because I'm not going to run out and do it the second we set up that I'm not supposed to fuck other people, but eventually I'm going to fuck other people.
Mm. Yeah, that
And like
dynamic.
he didn't want to
Oh, yeah.
either, but it was just like we had only met each other for a few weeks, so we were like, and I had just like cancelled a date to be with him, which is the fucking faggiest thing I've ever done. I think the faggiest thing I've ever done was when I fucked my best friend on his wedding night.
Yeah, I think when was I think my first experience of picking up a girl. And
Yeah.
I was 15 at the time, 15, just under 16 years of age. Um, I was at the gym. I used to go to the gym like 7 days a week when I was at school. Um,
Yeah.
and I was working out, pumping some iron or doing whatever. And this girl kept eyeing me up. Um,
Yeah.
I
You're like,
noticed her.
does she want to fuck or does she want to fight?
Yeah. I
That's
noticed
like the
her
rule if
out.
you meet your doppelganger, you can do one of the two.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed her out of the corner of my eye, and because she thought I didn't see her, but I did. And so I just ignored it, carried on doing what I was doing. Oh, that was it. I was learning martial arts at the time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
If
so
this does not end with you getting laid, I will set fire to all of UK.
don't worry. I ended up getting laid. But this is like
Good.
so it started, and so one thing led to another, and so we ended up in the locker room.
You were wearing her like a glove.
Yeah, yeah,
That would have been a fucking weird sexual experience to have the first time.
yeah. So we went into the locker room. I kind of like sneaked her in. No one was in there. It was just us two, and then it happened there.
Nice.
So yeah, um,
My first experience ever was that like after 3 hours of natural born killers, being just the most horny I've ever been in my entire life.
yeah.
Her deciding I want to keep watching this film instead, but I'm like she wouldn't watch it anyway. She would just like kiss me. So like, do you want to put those lips around my cock, or do you just want to watch Woody Harrelson?
Yeah.
Either
I
way,
don't
it's just
know.
fine answer for me.
Yeah, I don't know if. I mean, you might have got this magazine in Sweden. I don't know. Cosmopolitan. Um,
Yeah, like
um,
I don't know either, but I know what it is because of
yeah.
culture and media.
Um, for context, I was brought up by a load of women. Very strong,
Yeah.
independent women. So as you
Good thing I
go,
didn't say what I was about to say because I said I have never read Cosmopolitan because while
yeah,
I am a woman, did not get fucking shot in the head at any point. So
um, so being brought up by a lot of women, you tend to, as a kid, as you do, you tend to naturally see things or read things that are, women stuff. Anyway, I remember one
concubine is
cosmo-
the word actually. It's a concubine of
yeah.
women, not a load.
So
It's like a murder crows.
yeah, so in Cosmopolitan, they used to they give they used to, because I don't read it anymore, give sex tips. And I remember reading one thing that it said, um, put a donut on your partner's dick and eat it off. And that was a genuine sex tip in
Don't
Cosmopolitan.
fuck food, people. That is not well. Stop it. It's the first thing that everyone tries. They buy fluffy haircuts, fluffy handcuffs, and then they try to lick fucking chocolate sauce over each other's bodies. Which is why, by the way, don't use that of all fucking condiments.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
I'm going to
another
use the
one.
one that looks most like shit.
Yeah, and also this one is obviously geared towards women who have vaginas. Another one was like pointing at that, saying that don't put sugar up your hoo ha. It was like the amount of shit I read, but just by osmosis. It's like it's fucking
Oh yeah, but
ridiculous.
like, but Cosmopolitan is fucking hysterical. But
Yeah,
like, I did. Do you know Sean Baby?
I've heard of him. Yeah,
Yeah, it's always nice when our cultural references clash because it feels like I'm either a fucking grandma luddite or like I'm just screaming. I hear about the most niche fucking pretentious bullshit ever. Like, oh, you gotta watch this weird fucking art film. But anyway, so it's nice when our cultural references clash. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, Sean Baby. He had these extremely fucking funny columns that was like uh, 175 sex advice that show up to never get you laid and stuff like that. And it was so fucking funny that I could like I laughed crying. So I can recommend those to anyone. And like Cosmopolitan, I think was part of those. Like the dumbest. I used to do that when I was big on like the Swedish community as well. I used to take lists about like how guys should treat women,
oh,
or like let's face it, how men should treat boys. No, how boys should. Jesus fucking Christ! I'm not. I'm not. What is that gay little? I'm not Milo Yiannopoulos. Uh, but like how boys should treat girls because they are young, and I was as well. But it was always like this. They were always so fucking terrible. And it's like also one of them was why it's better to know it's better to be a girl than a guy, and it's like we're going to get back at you for I don't know oppressing us by being a little cheeky. And genuinely one of them was our lipstick helps us know which drink is ours, and like yeah, but don't take that drink, you fucking idiot, it's been roofied. It's like it also helps you date rapists know that.
Yeah.
And then I got shit for having that as my genuine like, and I was like, no, this isn't a joke I'm doing right now. Please do not take a drink like that. Oh my god.
Yeah, but the sad thing is, like, even though you never ever put like any food items on your man's dick or on your woman, like, don't do that.
I did put a fidget spinner on my cock once though.
Yeah, but the really sad thing
Funny,
is,
like I was
yeah, the sad thing is though that absolutely happened. Like, people really did do that stuff.
I genuinely think that donuts were invented to get fucked. Like there is no other reason for them to be like, and bagels as well, by the way. There's no other reason for there to be a fucking hole there.
Well, that's why. That's why that's why there's that saying, isn't there? If there's a hole, I mean, this is probably a stereotype geared towards men, but it's like if there's a hole, they'll fuck it. It's like, well, no, I mean, if you're off your tits.
Oh yeah, definitely. I like
on cocaine, yeah. But it's like, nah.
Yeah, it's like but it's like putting a hole in front of a man is like putting a line in front of me. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I don't care what it is. That's how I ended up doing meth once at a party without knowing it.
Yeah.
I felt a bit weirder than I usually did by amphetamines, and I'm like, no, that's meth. What? Didn't you know that? And I was like, no.
No.
Though I will say though that meth is actually technically less dangerous than normal amphetamines. Because like the reason you never see an amphetamine junkie with like teeth falling out and like hair and like looking like they would be a star on TV's Cops. The reason you never get to see that is because like those people die. Like meth addicts actually survive to be that old. And I just and here I am proving no, not all of us, but I am not a user. I'm not an abuser. I'm definitely a user. I only use my drugs. I don't abuse my drugs. I had a friend who did that seriously once, and I fucking slapped him.
Yeah. Yeah, I can just imagine you doing that as well. Slapping someone.
I'm such a cranky fucking like retrograde, just a fucking mystery, just a fucking cranky old Mr. Magoo. No, Cruella de Vil. That's what I am. I am Cruella de Vil, but not like Emma Stone's fucking version.
Oh yeah,
the other version. Who is, by the way, like 30. Have you considered that fact? Her and Anita is schoolmates.
Yeah.
They state that for a fact. Cruella de Vil has lived like a fucking hero. I don't like Emma Stone's portrayal of her. If we take it as a Cruella de Vil portrayal, I do like it as I take it as one of the most catastrophic fucking movies I've ever seen in my entire life. But like Cruella de Vil isn't smarmy or smug. She's like erratic. It looks like she's constantly behaving like me. Like she's just like done a line off screen and then just walked in like and like she's constantly smoking, like not even taking other people into account. There, she's not actively mean spirited towards people. She doesn't fucking consider them at all. So that's why I don't like Emma Stone. And also, how the fuck can you get punk from Cruella? But I do like that film, though. I don't know why. I think it's the best film I've ever hated, and it's the worst film I've ever loved.
Yeah, in my eyes, that's a win-win. It's like, that's how I felt when I saw the new fucking 28 Years Later film. It's fucking dog shit.
Oh, I gotta see that one. just want to see Jimmy Savile.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounded weird. Like in the context of the movie, I think it's fucking bizarre. That's what I say.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Jimmy Savile.
No.
I'm not him. I'm with a fucking
No.
corpse.
No.
I'm not him or allegedly corpse fucker Elon Musk.
No.
I'm sorry. I've wanted to go as Cruella de Vil on Halloween, but now it will be done. But I want to do that and like dress my boyfriend up as a skinned dog. And just have him like not even say anything, just scream in pain.
Yeah, I don't really.
No, I think I will do Halloween.
Yeah, it's not really. I mean, I don't really. We don't dress up for Halloween over here. It's not really. It's not like America
I
where
mean, if I
they
could,
go full,
no,
full, full,
definitely not
fucking-
here either.
Yeah. I can't be off.
It's very cute though because like we have a different holiday that is All Saints Day. That's like them. I don't know if you have that, but like that's a big thing here in Sweden. Like and that like Halloween. Nobody learns that Halloween is always on the last of October here because it's like, oh, but it's that weekend. And it's like, no, you're thinking of All Saints Day, and do not go to your grandpa's grave dressed like a pumpkin. Or do
Yeah.
that, I guess. I don't fucking care. I went to my dad's grave once to say one thing, and that was so ugly. You didn't even have a fucking photo, and then I left. I had to go out of town for that. It was back in the
Yeah.
winter when I had like started realizing I had a fucking stepchild now.
I like the Halloween aesthetic, and obviously, I do watch, Halloween movies. The good ones, not the shit ones.
All of the 7. Oh, you actually meant like I thought you meant like Halloween spooky movies, not just the Halloween series.
No, so I do like the Halloween aesthetic, but like in terms of dressing up, nah, that has never been my thing. It's like,
No, but can
why
you
do I want to
imagine
dress
how
up
it would be
for?
my thing?
Well, yeah,
Like I am a
like
theater kid that studied
yeah,
economy for some reason. That's the thing. I did not go any aesthetic program. Like I said, except for
yeah,
that later when I studied Swedish, I studied fucking economy. I can work in a bank. I also did cheat my way through every single fucking second of.
yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, I got a bit sidetracked by that fucking window not behaving like it does in reality. No, that was your. Oh my god, I'm so fucking brain dead. I saw the fact that our like curtains split on the same on each other.
Yeah,
If you can notice that. Yeah, I thought
yeah,
that like the light coming through was my window fucking up, and like how the fuck? And then I see that it's on your side, and like, oh,
yeah,
that's I've I've had a I've done a max again, and yeah, doing a max
yeah.
is being a fucking idiot.
Yeah, if you ever invited me to a Halloween party or whatever, you'll be lucky if you will be absolutely fucking lucky if I turned up at all. So to expect me to turn up dressed in a Halloween costume ain't gonna happen. Like,
No, 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 no. Hey, if I invited you to a fucking party, you would be part of my costume. Trust me. Like that's what I did to my boyfriend last year. I used him as a fucking prop. He just, hey, I need another one. Who can I get? But like, so that's the only thing.
yeah,
And like, I also like, yeah, it would be like, no, I would bet you not coming. So like, I would decide if we don't do that, I'm going to dress us up as classic, like Universal monsters, and you're going to be the Invisible Man.
hmm well, I mean, that's my genuine aesthetic anyway, because my friends hardly see me anyway.
Yeah,
So
mine either, but you do feel me a lot.
yeah,
I'm sorry, that was a joke. But like, I did go to the party. Like I had fever when a friend had a Halloween party one year, and I got so sad that I like sat and I recorded a bunch of like whispered sound clip and was like, "Hey, can you throw these on? Can you throw this on the playlist?" and then I'll be the Invisible Man. And like, can you dig these clothes up so you can have me had undressed, like just around? And she went with it, and then I won a prize for the most committed to the bit.
Oh, so I have to. I mean, it's probably a bit late now, but I just noticed that we had comments, and I just realised.
Oh,
So you know,
nice.
let's.
I mean, okay, let's
Here's
say this.
Paul.
On StreamYard, you can't actually say it. What is it? What does Paul say?
It's on the screen. More trans cultism.
Who's who's how? Explain how, Paul. Explain how. Now.
Uh,
You just using buzzwords, you fucking cunt.
He then said, a trans woman will never have fucking hell. Will never have
Do you know? Did you know that
endometriosis.
that's not medicinally true? That can actually happen. It's rare, but it's like fucking men getting breast cancer. You dumb bitch.
A minute later, he
That's one of my most
says,
expensive next of cards.
no child is cis. No child needs puberty blockers or mutilation because someone like you have planted the seed of trans delusion. Well, Paul, I don't know how that would work because I don't plant anything. I'm not a gardener.
Paul,
So
stop
how the
plant.
fuck would that work?
Paul, for fuck's sake, stop talking about planting seed in children, you fucking pedophile.
Exactly. That's fucking disgusting.
Think about how you phrase things, Paul, you daft twit.
Lived
Jesus
again
hell.
from Paul. Lived experience doesn't trump reality. Make that make sense, Paul? You stupid fuck.
Your reality means fuck all to me, Paul.
Exactly.
You mean fuck all to me. Did you notice the fact, Paul, by the way, that like I fucked up last time. I know that, but if you go back and check Mary, and if you go back and like watch how I act today, like yeah, I am combative and I am like I don't pull any punches and stuff like that, definitely. But notice what I'm not. I'm not how I acted to you. Do you realize how fucking much you suck, Paul? Like as a person on a conceptual level, you're broken. Like unfixable. It's like one of those cars that you're like you can drive it to the fucking dump.
Yeah. He also
Just leave it in a bad part of town, set fire to it, and leave. That's
said
what we should do with you. Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't give an anorexic liposuction.
Yeah, well, two different medical and mental conditions can be two different medical and mental conditions. You would also not give what the fuck. You wouldn't give a stroke patient fucking, what's the cancer? God damn it! I can't do this. The cancer thing. Not stem cells. It's help me, fucking God. What is it called? The treatment for cancer, please.
Let me like quickly Google. Cancer blur.
I'm going to. I having the worst fucking brain melt.
Radiotherapy, chemotherapy,
Thank you.
immunotherapy.
You wouldn't give chemotherapy for like a fucking stroke victim or like AIDS. So well, different conditions need different treatments. Head, Paul, the only way to treat your condition is by kicking the fucking head like it's a football.
Yeah. Here's mischief, and you wouldn't strike a god nurse off the register. No, you wouldn't. Here's Mary saying you need liposuction, Paul. You need more than that.
Mary, I'm starting to come around here, girl.
Mm. Yeah.
Like I still think you're wrong, but like you helped me through last week,
yeah.
and also like you kept you mean spirited little bitch, and I like that. That's
Yeah.
what I am.
This is
Cat, you fucking
um
cunt.
and this is directed towards Mary. And you need to get a prison sentence. And Mary replies with 4. Here is again. This transcript is coming to an end. No one's coming to an end, Paul. It's your life.
Paul, you can't even answer her fucking questions in text. That was not an answer. You did not answer. Why should she go to prison?
yeah. This from Mini T. Is Max drunk or on drugs?
I've been up since like the day before yesterday. I'm very tired and not high anymore, but like I came down earlier today, so I'm a bit
Yeah.
like loopy. I haven't been drunk for quite a few years actually. I like stopped
Mm,
drinking in 2022.
yeah. Mischief says Max doesn't drink. Then
Thank you.
Mini T says, okay, that answers my question. Then Mischief says, oh, thank you. Then thank you, Exulansic. I don't know why Mischief is thanking her for. Um,
Like
that's
we
it,
just like when she jumped off, like it was a. I don't know. I kind of liked today's discussion, to be honest.
yeah, I mean, again, I wasn't expecting it to be that respectful. But I'm glad it was.
Oh, people need to act more like the fucking Twitter personas, I think.
What? Where I
Um,
completely tell everyone to fuck off? You mean, or call them a cunt, and they get offended? Oh, you called me a
like,
C-word. I'm offended. Oh, grow the fuck up.
I will
I've
say,
had.
even if you check, I will say, if you ever check like how I behave in discussions on Twitter, it is pretty much the same thing. When I get pushed to the point where I'm starting to like, just doing it for the shits and giggles, it's just that it's quicker on Twitter because of like the fucking place is formatted to make you the worst version of yourself, which is the best version of me.
Mm, yeah. People are still who, unfortunately, I have to interact with when they say stupid stuff. Right? They are still bewildered by the fact that
Well,
I have such an art that I have such a sailor's mouth, and they are always amazed and shocked. It's like, listen, right? I am unapologetically myself. You don't like it? Guess what? You can go fuck yourself. You know, I'm not gonna stop being me just because your butt hurt or
yeah,
because I
you
called you
have
a
kind of
cunt.
fixed it. Yep, you have kind of fixed it by being like in cahoots with the most vulgar fucking person ever.
Listen, I was already vulgar on my own,
Yeah, I know.
so
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not. I don't think
yeah,
look, I don't think I'm a bad influence on anyone. I don't think I'm an
no,
influence on anyone. And if anyone
no,
out there believes otherwise, I'm going to put you in my manifesto as a cause, you fucking cunt. But like, I
yeah.
don't expect it to be. But like, it's people have a hard time differentiating between saying something just for like shocking other people and for shock value being funny. Like I do say shit for shock value. That I love shock value. It's never other people I'm trying to shock. It's myself.
hmm
And you can see when I succeed that I am getting good at. I'm so happy with every time.
yeah. Um,
You want to hear the first chapter of my book?
yes, please. Another one from Mischief. Thanks for coming on. It's just polite and appreciated. I think she's referring to Exulansic.
Oh yeah. We're about an hour delayed, I think.
Yeah. Oh
Do you
well.
do you make them appear here?
Yeah. When I go on
Do
comments,
you have a fucking
like
magic little button?
yeah, within StreamYard, when we go live on YouTube, like all of their comments appear, and I can bring them on. But obviously, because I didn't realize the real comments and up until now, oh well,
Well,
never mind.
look, we're
But
gonna.
yeah,
I think we should figure a way to like make that like more. If people start commenting, then we should at least
well, yeah,
like mainly because I
obviously,
can fight with you. I can fight with people. I'm going
yeah,
to be. That's very funny because you can notice the fact that I do that several times during the poll discussion. That I actually go. That I actually just. It can be in the middle of a fucking sentence speaking to Paul, and because that happens at one point. I start answering another comment, and then he's like, "What does this have to do with trans people?" And all I say is, "Paul, for fuck's sake, I was answering in one of the comments because I'm being a fucking professional. So shut the fuck up." But yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, by the way, which I'm fucking impressed if you haven't figured that out by now. Is this your first time on? Uh, I have been sort of like for the past few years tinkering away on a novel. I did actually finish writing it way back. I hate editing so much that I've kind of put it into the first draft. So the first draft, like it looked like a late draft. It did, but it still had some issues that I needed to work out. Mainly a few kinks in the character voice at the beginning. Not like all of a sudden he just hisses, "I need to piss on some girls." Like, he has a few weird affectations that didn't stick. But now it's also being translated to English. So uh, I'm going to do the only proper thing to do, and I am going to release them both. I am going to release them both simultaneously at the same time, or I am actually going to send the English translation into a few publishers first to see if they like Sweden is a very small pond, and it has very, very limited interest in literature.
oh yeah,
Um, because I'm getting it, and it's like it's professionally. Like I've been doing every single part of this book, down to the like, actually down to the font used in like because it instead of using lowercase, small uppercase symbols to start a chapter, I will use my own handwriting to start a chapter. That's why I had to do a font. Like, and like anytime a handwritten note is shown, it has a handwriting that is made for that character. And so like I've been going fucking hella pretentious with this bullshit. And I've been doing like all bunch of stuff. There's a playlist where all the songs being mentioned in it. I'm doing the whole the signing of the book, except for the fact that I cannot translate. I can speak English and I can like jump between English and Swedish without problem. I am actually at times better than them, like in the moment better, but I cannot translate and I cannot find the voice. So I started dating a translator, and then that person became my fucking soulmate, and now we live together half of the week. So my boyfriend has been he's a translator, and he's been translating my book Iris to English, and I've been reading it while he's working on it. And like he's getting a big chunk done now. So what I'm going to do now is I am definitely going to read the first chapter and possibly a second part as well because it's funny. This is me starting to do fucking marketing. And if you know, if I have to stop myself a lot of times, like I fucking always do actually, that's mainly because I'm hurling in my mouth because I'm doing my own marketing. Like marketing at all is one of the reasons why I did never get published, because I'd like refuse money as a motivation, which is fucking absurd. Don't do that and try to be an artist. So the book is called Iris, and that's all we know right now. Also, the book is dedicated to 3 people, and it's uh, a friend, my boyfriend, and it's dedicated also to Iris and to no one else in the world. And I will not explain that further. And now, are you ready?
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny? During the entire part where I talked there, where I could have just like gotten it ready, I did not do that. I'm a fucking moron. But I have it on my books. No, I don't. I got it from him. You fucking idiot. He sent it to you. There we go. Thank you. Documents. There we go.
Yeah.
I mean,
Before you begin,
yeah.
here's Paul again. Thankfully, these two exist solely in an echo chamber. No, we don't, and hopefully don't have access to children. Is that a
Do you know what?
veiled threat,
Do you,
Paul? Is that a
I'm
veiled?
going to say. I'm going to.
Is that
I'm going to say the Arsler.
is that a veiled
Paul.
false accusation towards
Yeah.
me, Paul? Because if it is, you can go fuck yourself.
What did you say? Luckily, they don't
Have access
have
to
access
children.
to children. Paul, I'm a teacher with a stepchild. You fucking idiot.
Yeah, and
Like
I
Jesus
don't.
fucking Christ, Paul.
And I'm gonna debunk this myth that you have. I don't think or speak. I don't think about children in the sick way that you think, right? Because I'm not. I may
Yeah,
have. I may be a
you
little
really are a
bit.
child abuser, Paul.
Yeah, I may have a mental illness that you apparently deem all people mentally ill. That's fine. You can have your stupid opinions, but your veiled accusation for fuck off. And here's Miss Chief saying you got mugged, Vogler.
Yeah,
I'll keep the comments
fucking
open just in case
wonderful.
I'll
Yeah,
keep the comments
that was
open just in
beautiful.
case he says something else more stupid.
I
But
also
yes,
realized something that so I'm just going to step out of smoke while I'm doing this because I realized how much they smoke in the chapter. And do not. There is no war in Ba Sing Se, by the way. Uh, I realized what the chapter is. So like it's not long, I will say. One of my things with this book was that I wanted to make a book deal with an awful subject in a way that didn't feel like awful. Or like I wanted a book about a depressing topic to be not as depressing as it could have been. Where did I put my, did I fucking I need to go run get my cigarettes and then I'll be ready, okay?
yeah, that's fine.
I left them on the fucking floor like a moron. What makes you think it was murder? Oh. So where are they? There they are. Good little cigarettes. No, that was an empty pack. There we go. Oh yeah, Nate.
Yeah. Another comment from Miss Chief saying lost your tongue, Paul. The degenerate hamster man.
That's so good. Are we like? Have I hanging out with her?
Yeah.
Miss
Thanks
Chief,
for joining. Yeah. Thanks
Yeah.
for joining Mischief. Hope you're well.
Yeah, hope you enjoy what's coming. Oh Jesus,
Yeah.
fuck! That sounded like a threat. Uh, so like, if I do stumble over any of the words, that is because have you heard me read earlier? Like, so I do that often. But this is not like you'll notice it's not written like it's like I usually write.
Yeah.
There we go. Now I can sit here and I can be your little storyteller. Oh God, I should have gotten the fucking typewriter for this. Uh, let's see. Now we start. Dedicated to and Iris, and no one else in the entire world. That is two epigraphs. Now it starts. Iris has stopped living. It's the warmest day of early summer so far, so after the funeral, Thea and Mika and I drive out to the cliffs by Narvets to settle down and collect our thoughts before reality kicks in again. It's Thea's idea. She says that she can't stand staying at the memorial service just to listen to people trying to edit Iris in death to a perfect human being. Everyone who knew her know that she never was in life. And I tag along as moral support, and because Thea is my ride home, and because I can't stand the thought of commute traveling in funeral clothes, but primarily I tell myself it's the moral support thing. Mickey joins us at last minute, and the pills he took to handle coming to the funeral at all is wearing off, and he says he needs to get away from all the people. He lies down in the back seat and lights a cigarette and tells Thea to drive. He doesn't give a shit where we're going, just away from this fucking shitbust. So we drive. It's peaceful by the cliff. Jesus fucking Christ, where's my light? It's peaceful out by the cliffs. Sometimes a car passes and honks at us because Thea's parked too far out the road, but we're mostly left in peace. This is the first time I've been here since high school, I think. Perhaps once or twice after that, but and they still haven't repaired that fence that someone kicked down several generations ago to make it easier to reach the cliffs. It's probably not unique for Hellabrottet, but it's one of those places where very few things change. Um, but it's one of those neither to the better nor the worse, and the few things sometimes happen never actually changes anything in any real sense. The pizza place gets a new owner. They covered a gravel road with asphalt, and someone you almost knew end their lives. Welcome to the place where time doesn't move, not because we like it like that, but because no one cares enough to do anything about it. I used to hate that I grew up here. I might still do that, but I don't know. It's been a few years since I checked. Thea presses down a cigarette butt in an empty beer bottle and shakes it to put it out, and then she lights another cigarette. She picks up a flat rock from the ground and tries to make it skip, but we're too high above the water, and the small rock soundlessly breaks the surface and plunges into the depths of no, into the deep. She sits down on a rock, gazes out over the water on the other side, and she says, "If I die, if?" Mickey looks at her. What the fuck? Fine. When? Thea sighs, takes a drag on a cigarette, throws another rock in the water. When I die. Silence. She starts over. When I die, I don't want any of that bullshit, okay? I don't want you to go on about how fucking perfect I was, as if I never made any mistakes in life. She rubs her eyes. I swear, I can't fucking stand it. I say, no problem. Mickey says, not a chance. A pack of teenagers have parked their bikes by the road and climbed the fence out to get out on the cliff. They're about 15 years old, or maybe a bit younger, and are three girls and two guys, and one that I can't gender specify. They spread out their bathing towels some meters away from us and change into bathing suits, and then they rush to the edge of the cliff and throw themselves from it down the water. The androgynous one doesn't go, but remain sitting among their staff, smoking and watching their friends climb the cliffs for another jump. You're not actually supposed to swim here, but jumping from the cliffs is a hoot. The last years of high school, when we got bored of the first pool basin and then the fourth basin, this became the best swim site. We biked here after school, drank beer, shot the breeze, jumped from the cliff. The water is about 10 meters down, and though I've never had the guts to jump from the highest level of a diving tower, I've never hesitated to throw myself off the cliffs here. Not seeing the bottom feels safe. It feels deeper, safer to jump than when you can see all the way down to the blue tiles at the bottom of a pool. The kids do a string of jumps before they, one after another, join their androgynous friend, and they sit down and smoke, or lay down on the towels to dry. They're talking about some party this weekend, or in a few weekends, or a few weekends ago. I only catch bits and pieces. And they're talking about someone who did something, or will do something, or is trying to do something that no one else thinks they should do. I can't follow the conversation because it's too fast and way too fragmented for me to get a clear idea of what they're talking about. They run out of cigarettes, and after some bickering, they send one of the girl, the fittest and seemingly youngest one, up to uh, up to us to ask if she can bum some. Thea and I shake our heads, but Mickey hands her 3 Chesterfield and says, "Sure, have these. You'll have them to share." He says, "Want a beer too?" He opens a bottle of Kilkenny with his teeth and hands it to the girl before she has time to respond. "Here, have it. Got to be a lot better than the piss water you usually drink, trust me." The girl takes a sip. She makes a face. "Nice," she says. "Awesome pals making you do the bum run." Mickey makes a gesture towards the rest of the group. "Did you do rock, paper, scissors or voted or whatever?" He takes a swig from his own beer. "Do you even smoke? You don't even smoke, right? I have not seen you smoke." "No, but you have the beer for your troubles, then," he says. "Don't share it. They get the fags, you get a beer." He puts out his cigarette on a rock and drops it in the almost full bottle. I look at the collection of butts and think of piles of corpses. I think of the mass graves in the death camps. Mickey lights another cigarette and says to the girl, "The beer is better, trust me." The girl grins so wide, her whole braces are showing. I look away from her, gaze out over the water. "Thanks," she says, and heads back to her friends. The girl, she asks Mickey, "Do you work hard to be such a douche creep, or does it come naturally to you?" "What?" Mickey shrugs. "They got fags, she got a drink. They're fair deal." Thea sighs. "You're such a walking fucking stranger danger commercial." Uh, we stay for a while after the teenagers leave, drink the last beer and smoke our last cigarettes. Mika tries to get some kind of memory talk going about Iris, but neither Thea nor I can be bothered right now. He asks us about how our best and worst memories about her, asks about the first time we met her and what we think was the reason behind the suicide, but neither Thea nor I will give any response. Other than shaking our heads or shrugging our shoulders. Thea says it doesn't even matter anyway. It is what it is. And then she throws it off the cliff. It disappears, and after a few seconds, she takes the last sip of beer. She stares at the bottle for an eternity and then throws it off the cliff. It disappears, and after a few seconds, there's a splash in the water below. "Right, fuck this." She gets up. "Let's get out of here." She looks at Mikael. She looks at me and asks, "Who's driving?" No one who knew her well was particularly surprised when Iris killed herself. Everyone pretended to be, of course, because that's what you're supposed to do. And no one wanted to be the one to admit it, but it had been a silent truth for a long time that that was how it was going to end for her. Some things are just given without anyone having to say it out loud. The sun will rise over the horizon in the morning, and one day Iris Blue will commit suicide. And all you can hope for is to be for that to be postponed as far as possible until it's not possible any longer. So when the call finally came because someone had found her and had to contact her family and her friends to let them know what had happened, everyone was ready for it. It was nothing but the next piece of the puzzle that fell into place. It is what it is, and it is what it's supposed to be. There's nothing more to say about it. Life goes on, as it always has. When leaving, we do the breath test to see who's the most sober. Micke wins and drives to Kumla where he would drop him off. Then I drive the rest of the way to Örebro. We pick up the bottles of the car and put them in the bag, the bottles, and put them in a bag. And Mickey and Thea walks back to the car. I walk out to the to the edge of the cliff. What fun! Jag hittade fel rad. Gaze out over the water and spy the bottle Thea through. It's still floating around there, on its way deep into the quarry. There's no way out of here. It's just a pit filled with water by time and the people who stopped mining. All the swim sites in the Halabrottet are artificial. Old quarries taken out of service. From the car, Thea calls, "Are you coming?" The wind catches my tie and throws it over my shoulder. I look at the bottle. Then I jump. That's the end of the first chapter.
I can't wait to read the further.
Do you want to know what the funniest bit is for me? The next chapter has nothing to do with this. Like you never get an answer to what the fuck it's doing at the end. So it's basically just wearing funeral clothes and then jumps straight out into the water 10 meters below. Like that works in English. That felt good to read. I will be doing at least one more reading because I want to show the like more of the dialogue. Like the first one is very narration heavy, but like not now. I think, or maybe like I don't know how fucking up you are for it.
Yeah, I'm up for it. Like it can be tonight or it can be like next week, whatever you want to do. But I'm up for it.
I can do it tonight. Sure. It's the chat up. Or do we still have the chat, or did it leave during that?
No, we still have the chat.
Saying it is here?
Nothing yet. He's probably gonna raise fucking steaming because his shit is not working.
It's gone Google translating more languages.
Yeah.
Quickly trying to fucking. Okay. So second chapter. The rule of thumb is a chapter is a day.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not always the full day. Like that's just
No.
a few hours where there are many clips, and then it's like other times we get to follow him throughout the entire day. Okay. And like the first one, like because I'm so happy about the dialogue. Okay. Ready, set, it, go. Where am I? I fucking lost my way. Oh yeah, here. There's a house party in the commune. Count the Days by Kite is playing when we step inside, and John greets us with a hug. He's dyed his hair red since I saw him last, but I can't remember which color it had then, apart from it not being red. There's a cigarette holder without a cigarette dangling from the corner of his mouth, and he talks around it, telling us that there's punch in the kitchen if you want. The red one is spiked with, he thinks hard for a while before he says something. He shrugs. Hank is the punch maker. Ask him. Thea asks, is Jenny here yet? I can't reach her. She should be around, John says. I think I saw her here a while ago. She probably just didn't notice. He turns to me. Someone said you weren't feeling well. Or that you were out of town, maybe. He thinks hard. Someone said you couldn't be here tonight. I say, here I am. He smiles, gives me another hug and says, here you fucking are. Then he turns on the spot and vanishes back to the party. Thea picks up her phone to check if Jenny has responded yet. Then she says she'll search the house and heads off towards the living room. I stay put in the hallway for a moment. I gather myself, taking the party sounds, and then head into the kitchen. I take a Pepsi cup from the towel next to the punch bowl on the counter and look at the red punch, and I try to make myself try to do it, but I decide to stick to the other one until I know what they spike the red one with. I fill the cup to the brim and downs fast and refills the cup. Tina and some guys with names I can't remember are stationed around the kitchen table in a discussion about something I can't discern over the music. I down my cup and refill it again. I stay by the counter and I feel like a lost puppy. Everything feels unfamiliar, as if I'm in a dream that I'm only half aware of is a dream. I down the punch for a third time, refill the cup, leave. Emil and Petra and Smilla are sitting on the what the fuck, porch, smoking and talking about some film Silla has seen and that oh, sorry, Smilla is another character. Silla has seen that scene and that she tries to convince the others to see that so that she can discuss it with someone. I take a seat on an empty chair next to Petra and light a cigarette. She gives me a smile and leans over the armrests to give me a hug, and she says that she's glad I'm here. And then I heard you wouldn't be here. Where did you hear that? Someone said it. I don't remember. Maybe Micke. Is Micke here? He was at least. I saw him earlier. She puts her cigarette out and leans over the table and snatches one out of Emil's packs of LMs. He she gestures that she wants to borrow my lighter, and I hand it to her. She lights a cigarette and returns the lighter and says, "I think he went upstairs with someone, but I didn't see him. In case you want to ask him yourself." Silence. It might have been someone else, but I think it was him. No, no, I'm fine. Silla says to me, "I heard you went to the funeral." Yeah. Emil sighs. Damn it, I was going to, but I overslept. I felt like such a fucking fuck up. I'd even gotten a damn suit and everything. Uh, how was it? Silla asks me. It was nice. I shrug. Like a funeral, usually, I guess. Sad, you know. I was really going to go, Emil says. I should have been there. There were lots of people there, I say. It's probably nothing to worry about. It was nice. That makes it even worse. Emil sags in the chair. I really should have been there, but I overslept. Peter says, "Did you hear that his sister had a total fucking meltdown afterwards? Like he was on the floor screaming." I don't know. Liam told me about it, so it might be bullshit. But holy shit, Silla puts it to me. Is that true? I don't know. We didn't stay afterwards. See, I needed to leave. Holy shit, if that's true. Still a drink from her can of Norlands. Do you think it's true? I shrug. Petra says, it could be true. She's bonkers. No, it's great, Emil says. We used to buy concerta from her in high school. Esta Solid, I think. Do you remember? He has turned to me. You always told her that she should start selling real drugs instead. He shakes her head. Double damn, I really should have been at that funeral. I say, we didn't go to the same school. What are you talking about? We were in the same class. No. I shake my head. You're thinking of someone else. Petra says, didn't you guys date for a while? And then she pokes me in the ribs when she realizes that I don't get that she's talking to me. You guys dated for a while, right? Normie and I? No, I barely fucking know her. I've talked to her at a couple of parties, but I've certainly not dated her. You absolute cock, Petra groans. Iris and you and Iris dated for a while, right? What? No, we never fucking dated. I put out my cigarette and drink my punch. I light another cigarette. We might have hooked up at some party at some point ages ago, but we never fucking dated. I don't know if she ever dated anyone. If so, no one told me. Well, someone told me you did. Well, they fucking told you wrong, because we never dated. Silence. Petra says, oh, did you guys hear that Sol is pregnant? Or might be. Shit, is that true? Silla says. Emil says, damn, I should have been at the funeral. I drink the last punch from my cup. The commune is pretty worn down, as far as I can remember. It has belonged to John, who bought it for cheap. And as far back as I can remember, it has belonged to John, who bought it for cheap for himself and his band so they could live together so that the creativity would overflow. A month or two later, the band had split up and everyone had moved out so quickly you can barely say they lived here at all. Since then, I think everyone we know has used it as temporary housing at one time or another when they haven't had any other choice or couldn't be bothered to look for something better. Everyone except Thea, who I'm pretty sure was never living here, but she did spend enough time here to say that she did during an experiment a couple of years ago when we tested what it would be like if I didn't live on her couch. Eventually, we realized that it was just as well that I moved back in when she got sick of driving out into the woods just to see me, and I could never be bothered to travel to Örebro while knowing I would have to get back to the woods after sooner or later. It doesn't matter anyway. It is what it is. Thea is powdering and lining up our coke over the toilet seat. I'm folded up in the bathroom with my legs over one side and my head resting on the other, and I'm drinking elk brew. And I look at Thea and I ask her how gross that feels to her. I ask, why don't you just use your mobile screen? Don't you know how much bacteria there is on a mobile screen? She points at me with a bank card. It's such a fucking gross out when someone does that. And what you're doing now is better. I lean back and stare at the roof where the paint is peeling off and my fingers play with a cigarette. Why do people think Iris and I were a thing? What people? Who thinks that? Beatrice Silla said someone said that. I put the cigarette between my lips and searched for the lighter in my pockets. And I think someone else too, but I don't remember who. Do you have a lighter? Because you two were hanging out a lot, I guess. She tosses her lighter to me. People always get ideas about that, just because you don't just hang out, especially if you're a guy and a girl. That that really gets the vultures going. I light my cigarette. You and I hang out all the time. No one thinks we're a thing. Someone definitely thinks we're a thing. She snorts one of her lines. Then she takes a deep breath, recovers. It's not the same thing though. She snorts another line. People would think it was gross if we did something. It would be like incest to them. But Iris and I would never think. Fucking hell, she says. Drop that shit. You wanna, or should I use you to do yours as well? I lift myself out of the tub and put up on the edge of it. Thea hands me a turquoise straw. Turquoise. Why the fuck did you pick that? Turquoise straw that has been cut in half. I ease myself down on the floor and study the lines, determine which one I will have first. It doesn't matter anyway, Thea says. It is what it is, and it is what it is. And what it is, as you know, is just bullshit. Yeah, I guess. I snort the first line. Runs into Henke in the living room. He's wearing a knitted sweater and a pink ushanka covered with tiny prints of skiers. He's talking with some girl, don't know the name of, but maybe slept with her on a New Year's party a couple of years ago within hearing distance. And Henke is in the middle of explaining why Days of Our Lives is the most important piece of art, not only in the history of televised entertainment, but in the whole history of modern culture, beginning at in the 1900s. He interrupts himself when noticing that they have company. Oh, a hug. I heard you wouldn't be here. Who said? He shrugs. Didn't think about it then, can't remember it now. Someone just said it. He laughs. Whatever, you're here now. That's awesome. Yeah, what's in the punch? What? The punch, the red punch. John said you had spiked the punch. With what? I have no idea. Mira made it. I don't know what she put in it. You could ask her if it's spiked. Is it spiked though? He looks at the paper cup in his hand, half full of red punch. Takes a sip, flicks his tongue. I can't taste anything, he says. It's probably safe, or I would feel something by now. Probably something John said just to pull your leg. But yeah, ask Moira. She's the punch maker. It's late enough for the sun to wake up. Thea and I are laying on the trampoline in the backyard and smoke reefer sticks and watch it rise over the treetops. Inside the house, the party is winding up and dying down. Many has left, more are leaving. Few party on in vain, even though they know it's over. Maggot by Slatever is playing loud enough to reach us out here. Mika steps out and climbs up on the trampoline and lies down next to me. Fuck, man! He pats me softly on the stomach and asks if I've been here the whole time. I don't think you would be here tonight. I've been here. Someone said you couldn't be. Who said that? Maybe John. Mika thinks hard, but I don't know. I can't remember. Someone just said. Thea says, typical someone, right? Silence. I yawn. Mika clears his throat and then asks, so, got any coke left? That's the end of the second chapter. Which basically just consists of the main character being asked, being told that they have been told that he couldn't be there. I don't know. I giggled like a fucking child when I realized that pattern. Like everyone he meets, and it's like he just gets progressively more concerned about it. So, any thoughts? Any ideas? Ideas? What the fuck? It's written.
Not that I can
What's
think
your
of.
impression of the? What's your impression of the main character? I'm sorry, I just because he's a very weird. He's a very weird person. Like way weirder than he seems to be here. Like here, he seems normal. Aside from having a bit of like mellow reactions to things going on, and also like we're in the same year. But by the way, let's say that not two people have been able to accurately agree on who is in the wrong about them not being in the same school. It's
Well,
like
no,
both, like I don't know.
yeah. Well,
It's just annoying.
the impression I got was I knew basically, like you said it, weird. Like
Yeah.
he just seemed like the kind of person that doesn't
Yeah.
give a fuck. He is he'll take whatever happens as it is, and like
Yeah,
yeah,
that's actually a very good read on him, I would say.
yeah, so,
Uh,
you know,
I also like there is like because I'm not that great at dialogue. Like a dialogue is hard for me, and with this I had the active goal to not make it sound like it's written. So it's extremely clumsy sometimes, and like people talk over each other, and like the whole thing where we never find out anything really. Like people don't really talk to each other. And we have one person just sitting there whining about not coming to the funeral, which is like fucking deal with it. And I will say he does sound better in English. Like it's still annoying and stuff like that, but there is something in the Swedish one that like that's the one part that sounds like a bit forced, I think, and I didn't think that came across here. But I love the idea so much of someone like buying like or renting a suit, like getting a suit, and like being able, but can't set a fucking timer, like and oversleeps to their friends
yeah.
to kill themselves suicide, only to then sit at a party the next weekend and like discuss whether or not another friend dated her. A lot of the names that you just heard are never going to be mentioned again as well. It takes place during a fairly short time, like it's 1.5 months or something. Except for a big chunk of like this one chapter that goes on for like technically an entire summer. But that's like just like flash, flash, flash. But other than that, it takes place like during just like 1.5 months. It's impossibly a short time actually because there are too many chapters if one chapter is supposed to be a day, and I did that
Yeah.
on purpose to create a sense of like eternal cycle. But so I also made sure that like you have your core group of friends which you hang out with like when you hang out with people, and then otherwise like most of the people you're not going to meet in a 1.5 month. So like
Oh yeah.
a lot of people are just one-time characters. And the reason I did that was because I once realized that that was one of the things that make the room seem so fucking bizarre as a movie. That I wanted to do that, but good. Like one of the things with the room is that people will just show up and be there, and like it's fucking absurd. But I also do think that no one should ever try to make this fucking book a film because like it would not be. I don't know. A miniseries, yes, but not a film. I am going to make it into a comic book though, and can also give you thing because they never say it, but like the main character is wearing a shirt that says "teenage porn star" on it while at that party for the entire thing. He's dressed fucking absurd, like he constantly is, but it's never mentioned the fact that he's just like an extremely eccentric dresser for some reason. And the only way to really know that is if you've read other things that I've written where people comment on like the weird tranny in the room because he's like wearing fishnets and stuff. So yeah. Uh,
Well,
that was
I
fun.
can't. Yeah, it
I hope
was.
you enjoyed.
Yeah, I did. I can't
Uh,
wait to hear more. And obviously,
yeah.
receive a copy. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah.
enjoyed it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Um.
it's it is yeah.
Yeah.
Are we like done?
Um. Yeah. I think.
I'm sorry, I really wanted to leave it on like a sort of like somber.
Yeah.
Are we done?
Yeah. Yeah. We're pretty much done. Um.
Yeah. Oh Jesus
Cause
Christ! I see the light. Oh yeah, I had
yeah.
forgotten this.
Yeah.
A haunted bookshelf of Toren.
Ooh. Yeah. So yeah, we will be back
Also the
next
hui.
week. Yeah. Back next
Yeah.
week.
Oh,
When
by the way, quick hint.
yeah.
I actually did a video where I explain everything that I do wrong in the in the Helen. No, not Helen Joy. Bev Jackson thing. And why I am so pissed off at myself over it, and like why it doesn't matter. Like I'm not saying this to get like, oh, you did great because I don't want that. Like I don't care if you think I did great.
Yeah.
Uh, I did to me, and that's what I care about. But I thought it would be really funny to do this while doing an unboxing of like sex toys. So I just went out and bought a bunch of sex toys, and I do this in the middle of the fucking in town at night. I do this and like sit there and what's the funniest bit is that you don't really realize that it's sex toys that I'm doing until I pull out the biggest fucking cock I've ever seen in my entire life, which I thought would be so funny to just buy. And it's like um but yeah, it's like bigger than my fucking forearm. uh
Yeah. Um. Yeah. That would be fucking hilarious.
yeah,
um.
it will also be very funny when I clearly like just wait for someone to pass so that I can do drugs.
Yeah.
I'm just behaving extremely weirdly, and then I show my ass.
Yeah.
So you
Uh,
look forward to that.
yeah. So yeah, we will be back next week. Obviously, Nerdy will join us
Yeah.
then. Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
know. I don't have I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but we'll
Just
talk
shoot
about
the shit.
something.
Like
Yeah.
that's not like I like this
Uh,
format.
Yeah. So do I.
But
Um.
oh, by the way, if you could send the poll thing because I have IDs,
Oh yeah. Yeah, I will.
like the
And I'll.
poll episode.
Oh yeah, I will. So yeah,
Because I don't
that'll
want
be
to sit
it.
and screen. Otherwise, I have to screen.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll send it you.
I no, now Max, shut up.
Yeah. um. Thank you for those who joined. Sorry it took a while for me to notice your comments, but we appreciate them, even though
Yeah.
like one of them's a dickhead. But yeah. Um.
I really
Have a
appreciate him.
yeah.
I appreciate my little pet.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sorry that it took so long to notice. It's just because you don't mean anything to me, either of you, any of you. Like, you are nothing. You are air to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I love you. You know that. Don't be mad at mommy. Don't be mad at mommy.
Yeah. So yeah. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will see you next week. Bye. Right. And
Boy.